Chapter 866, The Girl in the Half-Demon. The bell rang at Gotham Royal York Elementary School and we were walking home from school. Me. So what did you learn about today, Lincoln? Lincoln. I was learning about the history of wolves. They are so cool. Me. Wolves are my favorite animals and they are awesome. But just then as we were coming down the sidewalk, a bunch of guys in different clothes armed with pipes, tire irons, and crowbars and razor-sharp knives. Me. Who are you fuckers? Man 1. We are the Fire Ants gang and we've come to kill you, JD. Man 2. You are a fucker monster fuckhead. Man 3. We will kill you and rule this town with an iron fist of fear. Me. You picked the wrong fuckhead to fight with, you fuck lips. Man 1. Attack. The fire ants came at me and I punched one in the face. Pow. Kicked a second one in the mouth and punched him in the face and knocked him out. KROW. Smash. Kicked a third one in the stomach and punched him in the crotch and punched him in the face and knocked his teeth out. Pow. Ding. Pow. I kicked them all in their heads and knocked them down. Spider-Man. Webs up fire ants. Little kids shouldn't be playing with sharp knives. Me. Thanks, Peter. But I had things all under control. Spider-Man. I can tell. But these guys are nothing but trouble. They want to kill you guys so that they can destroy all of Gotham Royal York and kill everyone. Me. These guys sound like they are trouble. They call themselves the Fire Ants Gang. Spider-Man. That's right. Here's a wanted poster of them. Spider-Man handed me a wanted poster from the FBI for them and they are extremely dangerous. Me. Who? You aren't kidding, Peter. These guys are more than just a gang. They are a terrorist organization. Lincoln. Yet. Later we went back to the estate and then we decided to visit the home of the Samurai Power Rangers. We were at Panorama City in New Zealand. Me. So this is Panorama City. It looks very much like Auckland, New Zealand. Argent, it sure does. And I should know. I'm from here. Nico, that's cool, Argent. We went over to the home of the Samurai Power Rangers, the Shiba House. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. It is not known how long the Shiba House has existed, but it is at least as old as the previous generation of Samurai Rangers, appearing in flashbacks to that time, and it was the home of the Red Ranger and his family, along with Mentor G. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. Jaden, this is it, guys. The Shiba House. Me. It's beautiful, guys. Just like on TV. We saw Skull coming and with him was his son Spike. Skull, hey guys. Me. Hey there, Skull. Skull, guys. I'd like you all to meet my son, Spike. Me. Pleasure to meet you, Spike. Spike. You too, JD. Dad and Uncle Bulk told me a lot about you guys. Me. I can tell. Mentor G, the Samurai Rangers sensei and teacher came. Mentor G, Team Loud Phoenix Storm, I welcome you to the Shiba House. Me. Mentor G. Kung Fu Bao, it's an honor to meet you. Mentor G, you too, JD. Nico, we watch the Power Rangers all the time on TV and it is awesome. You are a fantastic teacher to your students and more. Mentor G, I appreciate your support, Nico. We went into the house and it was amazing. Me. So this is your base of operations in a sense. Jaden, it is JD. Just like the estate is your base of operations. Mia, it's home away from home. Emily, it's amazing. Naruto, it's amazing. We were talking about our adventures. Kevin, Samurai, it's a shame we can't meet Samurai Jack. The guy was awesome on TV. Did you know that he was my inspiration for becoming a Samurai Ranger in the first place? Mia, we didn't know that. Me, that's amazing. Teresa, I know it sucks. But Jack belongs in his own timeline, not ours. Besides, we can always take the simulator and visit him. Me, that's true. But he's finally free of Aku and he is happy with his family. Our achievements as the Brave 12 were the biggest thing we've ever done. Aku was a very tough and formidable foe. Chin, who was Aku? Me, the ultimate embodiment of pure evil. I went over what Aku's history. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. Originating long ago in the depths of space as a formless evil, Aku was banished by the three mighty gods Odin, Ra, and Vishnu in order to protect the universe from his influence. Yet a small shard of the Great Shadow managed to survive and flew off into space. For many years this shard continued flying through space until it eventually landed on Earth, causing the extinction of the dinosaurs in the process. Many years later, the site on which Aku landed would become the ancient island of Japan, which Aku infected like a horrible disease, creating vast forests of evil in the land and threatening to consume it. Eventually Aku's threat became so great and impressive that Jack's father decided to rid the land of the demon once and for all using magical oil made by Buddhist monks. However, when he fired an arrow coated with this oil into the evil entity, it didn't destroy it but rather gave it form and sentience, thus forming Aku as a humanoid threat of just unimaginable power. However, with aid from Odin, Ra, and Vishnu, Jack's father wielded a magical sword powerful enough to defeat Aku and fought the demon. At the end of the conflict, Aku was transformed into a tree, yet the imprisonment wouldn't last much more than a decade before a solar eclipse freed Aku again. Aku would then proceed to lay waste to the kingdom Jack's father ruled and engaged in a battle with Jack himself. Jack very nearly killed Aku for good using the magical sword, but Aku threw open a portal in time and transported Jack to a future world in which Aku ruled supreme. For the rest of the series, Aku is portrayed as the tyrannical, omnipresent, all-powerful, and manipulative ruler of the world and is an almost unstoppable force. Yet he fears Jack, knowing very well that the warrior has the power to slay him. Aku has placed a high bounty on Jack's head and is always trying to dispose of him, whether it be with manipulation, cunning, force, or trickery. Shadow of Aku. Jack encountered Aku yet again at the Pit of Hate, where Aku uses his fluid to attach to pieces of samurai armor before he can let Jack reach the time portal. Jack battled Aku but was too late to go to the time portal. Samurai Jack, 2017. Aku returns in the new season and fights against Jack for the last time. In the series, it is also shown that Aku donated a small portion of himself to the cult of Aku after seeing the statue they built in his likeness. Afterwards, the cult leader drank the potion which somehow impregnated her, creating the daughters of Aku. In episode H.A.Y, Jack fights an assassin named Scaramouche the Merciless who claims to be Aku's favorite assassin. He tries to call Aku that Jack lost his sword, but Jack destroys his phone before he can get the chance, leading to a confrontation with Scaramouche where Jack seemingly destroys him. In episode Scheme, Aku wakes up from his long nap and becomes annoyed with his royal subjects and minions as they come to his lair, bow down to him and give him gifts while he is trying to do his daily routine. When his minions mention that they built more robots to destroy Jack, Aku states that he doesn't care anymore. Aku then creates a clone of himself to serve as a psychiatrist who asks him about what has been troubling him lately. Aku tells the psychiatrist that it has been 50 years since he destroyed all of the time portals and that he hoped that Jack would have just died off the normal way, but, as a result of the time-traveling process, not only has Jack not died from old age but he hasn't even aged a single day and has become biologically immortal, deeply frustrating him. In episode XCVI, Aku, after being informed by a henchman that the former's lair was under attack by an army led by the Scotsman, decides to deal with them himself and flew out of his lair. Later, he transforms into a colossal giant ball and effortlessly slaughtered most of the army. After this, he was confronted by the Scotsman, with the latter insulting and ridiculing Aku, stating that Samurai Jack inspired many to oppose him. However, this leads to Aku killing the Scotsman by shooting him with his high beams. Aku, with a bored tone, only wondered why the Scotsman brought up Jack before returning to his lair. However, unknown to Aku, the Scotsman returns as a ghost and instructs his army, who are all of his daughters as well, to continue to amass their forces and find Samurai Jack. In episode Skei, Scaramouche, now only ahead, tries to reach Aku in order to tell him that Jack is missing his sword and calls him from a phone booth on the boat he was riding, although Aku immediately hangs up after Scaramouche is thrown off the boat. In episode H.A.Y, in a flashback, it is shown that Aku pulled Jack out of a time portal just as he was about to reach the past and then obliterated it, taunting Jack by telling him that said time portal was the last in existence. In his rage, Jack tried to destroy Aku once and for all. However, Aku backed out of the fight and transformed the rams that had been helping Jack into mindless beasts that he soon killed, causing him to accidentally drop his sword into a pit in his horror. In episode C, Scaramouche finally reaches Aku's tower and manages to tell Aku about Jack's missing sword, not only causing the demon to snap out of his depression, but also give Scaramouche a new body out of gratitude and both dance in joy. Aku then flies over to Jack's location, in which it is shown that he also killed the Guardian, where he and Scaramouche then laugh at Jack for not having his sword, only to realize that he actually does. Aku then kills Scaramouche by destroying his head and prepares to leave. However, he stops when he realizes that there is a little bit of himself inside H.A.Y. Aku then has a flashback in which it is shown that he gave some of his essence to the cult of Aku, and then comes to the conclusion that the High Priestess must have drank the essence and birthed the daughters of Aku. He then remarks on how she is really a true daughter of his to her and Jack's collected shock and anger. As Jack tries to kill Aku, Aku begins controlling H.A.Y and forcing her to fight Jack, watching from the sidelines as they unwillingly do so while remarking on how his daughter fell for his sworn enemy. Eventually, Aku turns H.A.Y into a humanoid replica of himself, which Jack cannot bring himself to kill, laying his sword down in defeat. As H.A.Y is about to lay the final blow, Aku quickly orders for her to stop and grabs Jack's sword. He revels at finally besting Samurai Jack after 50 years. In episode C.I., Aku broadcasts his victory over Samurai Jack to the entire world. Aku then tells everyone who opposes him that they have no hope as he prepares to kill Jack. However, he soon realizes that he does not know how he wants to kill Jack. After a period of indecision, Aku decides that it is best to let H.A.Y kill Jack. As H.A.Y readies to lay the final blow to Jack, almost everyone Jack has encountered, the blind archers, Rothschild and his canine companions, the Ravers, the Triceratops, the Spartans, the Jump Good Monkey Man and his tribe and the Woolies, and saved came to his aid and attacked Aku. Aku begins to do a great battle with them while Jack fights the corrupted H.A.Y who is stopping him from take back his sword. Aku finding amusement in the army's attempts to save Jack since he is nearly untouchable and cannot be killed by them. Aku splats a great number of woolies and blind archers, corrupting them into an army of smaller copies of himself, ordering them to attack the rebels. While the rebels are in great difficulty against the Aku's army and Jack is unable to take the sword back, the Scotsman arrives with his daughters, causing several damages to Aku's army. During the fight, Max and the robots of Andromeda join the army of Jack's friends with their giant robot samurai. At the beginning, Aku mocks the robot only to be brutally beaten up by it and also have his horns teared off. At point, Aku starts to get annoyed and furious and decides to change himself into a rain of spikes to kill all of his enemies. The rain kills many of Jack's friends but is stopped by the powers of the Scotsman. Then he checks on his daughter H.A.Y to see if she has killed Samurai Jack. But thanks to Jack, H.A.Y frees herself from Aku's corruption and stands up against him. The furious Aku attacks her but is surprised to see that she still has the exact same powers as he does. Without a second to lose, Jack and H.A.Y summon a portal and send themselves back to the past. The future Aku then looks in sorrow as he realizes that his destruction is imminent, realizing that all around him, including himself, are going to cease from existing. Back in the past, after Jack's first battle against Aku, the demon has just sent Samurai Jack to the future. After he finishes his speech of meeting him again in the future, he was shocked to see that the future Jack and H.A.Y have returned on that same spot. As Aku tries to process why he is back so suddenly, Jack immediately charges and begins his short final showdown with Aku. Aku, still greatly weakened by his battle with the previous incarnation of Jack, then transforms into a giant rhinoceros beetle-like form to fend him off, but the latter quickly slashes him in two halves with his sword. Jack then completely destroys one, while the other tries to retreat but does not go very far as Jack manages to stab his severed head with his sword and Aku merges into the sword before Jack slams his sword to the ground, finally destroying Aku once and for all as he and his lair begin to explode, avenging all of the deaths and suffering he has committed and ending his tyrannical and magisterial grasp forever. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. Chin was amazed. Chin, wow. Jaden, that's amazing. Nico, I remember reading the book he made, The 12 Warriors, The Chronicles of the Brave 12. That is an awesome story. Naruto, that was one of our most amazing adventures. Kevin, Samurai Wada SEC? That was you guys? Me, we weren't called Team Loud Phoenix Storm back then. I went over everything that happened during the events of the Samurai Loud saga. Jaden, wow. That's incredible. Emily, you guys were really brave there. Mia, unbelievable. Mike, Samurai incredible. Lauren, Samurai that is an amazing adventure. Armada Cyclonus, to Lauren, any reason why you're Crimson now? Lauren, well, I just thought it would be easier to tell me and Jaden apart. Me, that seems fair. Mike, Samurai we never did get a chance to destroy Octoroo and Sharkjaw. Jaden, they most likely went into hiding after Xandrid was destroyed. Skydive, well, if they do show up, we'll help you guys kill them. We later went back to the estate. I was making myself a snack and I saw Lincoln watching one of my favorite shows, Inuyasha. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. In modern-day Tokyo, Kagome Higurashi lives on the grounds of her family's Shinto shrine with her mother, grandfather, and younger brother, Soda. On her 15th birthday, when she goes to retrieve her cat, Kagome is dragged into the enshrined Bone Eater's well, Hanakoi no Ito, by a centipede demon that emerged from it. But rather than hit the bottom, Kagome finds herself in the past during Japan's Sengoku period. The demon is revealed to have originally been defeated 50 years prior by Kikyo, a warrior priestess who is the keeper of the Shikin Jewel, Shikin no Tama, lit. The Jewel of Four Souls, an artifact created by the sacrifice of the priestess Midoriko which grants its holders desires. As pointed out by Kikyo's younger sister, Kaed, Kagome is revealed to be the reincarnation of the now-dead Kikyo, who was the priestess in charge of looking after the sacred jewel. The Shikin Jewel was burned along with Kikyo's remains to cast it out of this world entirely, in order to keep it safe from the hands of those who would abuse it. Then Kagome comes across a boy pinned by a sacred arrow on a tree, learning he is Inuyasha, a half-dog demon, Ikai, whom Kikyo trapped as her final act when he attempted to steal the jewel. Kagome frees Inuyasha to kill the centipede demon, but Kaed subdues him with a magical beaded necklace to keep him in line with Kagome saying sit or sit, boy. The Shikin Jewel was extracted from Kagome's body by Mistress Centipede, and then later taken by a crow demon, which Kagome destroyed with her arrow, but in doing so, shattered the jewel into many shards that flew across Japan and into the possession of those who gain the individual shard's power. After Inuyasha gains his father's sword Tetsusaiga, placing him at odds with his older half-brother Sesshomaru, he aids Kagome in collecting the shards and dealing with the threats they cause as they are joined by Shippo the young fox demon. Kikyo is partially revived while revealed to have been Inuyasha's lover, but her version of how their falling out occurred brings the events into question. It was when the group is joined by the perverted monk Moroku, whose hand is cursed with a wind tunnel that was passed on to him from his grandfather, that his family's curse and the events which resulted in Inuyasha's imprisonment and Kikyo's death were caused by the evil half-spider demon Naraku. The evolving Naraku is revealed to have been born from the soul of the evil bandit Anigamo inhabiting a body created by countless demons as part of a pact to acquire the Shikin Jewel for his own ends, seeking out the shard while absorbing demons to increase his power and remove any weaknesses. Inuyasha's group is soon joined after by the demon slayer Sango and her two-tailed demon cat Kirara. Sango's clan was killed when her younger brother Kahaku fell under Naraku's control and is kept alive by a jewel shard. Over time, Inuyasha enhances Tetsusaiga into stronger forms while contends with Naraku's minion incarnations like Kagura and Kana, and the reanimated band of 7. Inuyasha's team is loosely allied by Sesshomaru, who took the orphaned girl Rin as a ward, the resurrected Kikyo, and Koga, the leader of the Eastern Wolf Demon tribe, who seeks to avenge many of his comrades' deaths and has a one-sided crush on Kagome. While Naraku momentarily removes his heart in the form of the infant, who later attempts to overthrow Naraku through his vessel Muryomaru, Kahaku regains his free will and memories and attempts to help out of guilt for indirectly killing his father. During that time, Sesshomaru settles things with Inuyasha to enable his brother to perfect Tetsuzaiga to its optimal abilities. Eventually, Koga is forced to stand on the sidelines while Kikyo uses the last of her life force to give Kahaku a second chance at life as Naraku finally reassembles the Shiken Jewel. Although Inuyasha and his allies defeat him, realizing his true desire is for Kikyo's love despite his hatred towards her and that it can never be granted, Naraku uses his wish to trap himself and Kagome in the Shiken Jewel. Revealed to be sentient, the Shiken Jewel intends to have Kagome make a selfish wish so she and Naraku will be trapped in conflict and prolong its existence. But with Inuyasha by her side, Kagome wishes for the Shiken Jewel to disappear, which causes Kagome to return to her time with the well sealed, and she and Inuyasha lose contact for 3 long years. In that time, the Sengoku period changes drastically. Sango and Moroku marry and have 3 children together. Kahaku resumes his journey to become a strong demon slayer with Kirara as his companion, and Shippo attains the 7th rank as a fox demon. Koga marries Ayame, the leader of the Northern Wolf Demon tribe, joining their tribes. Kaed takes Rin in her care to get her used to living with humans again if she wants to in the future. Back in the present, Kagome graduates from high school before finally managing to get the Bone Eater's well in her backyard to work again. Kagome returns to the Sengoku period, where she reunites with Inuyasha, marries him and continues to train to become a priestess. We gathered and watched all 193 episodes. It took a while, but they all were awesome. Inuyasha is so awesome. Naruto, it sure is. Natsume, those demons were amazing. But none will ever match up to the power of the tailed beasts and Team Loud Phoenix Storm. I know. But Kaiba, Inuyasha's name sounds like your clan name. Kaiba, Inuyasha's name does sound very similar to my clan name, and I'll have to ask my mom, as the Inyazuka clan has a version of Sage Mode that looks like Inuyasha. There just might be. Lincoln, but Naraku was awful. I know. He's just like Aku and Orochimaru combined together. Chin, from the way he looked, he sure looked like it. Let's see what it says about him. I looked him up on the computer. Naraku is responsible for most of the character's misfortunes, including the death of Kikyo, the sealing of Inuyasha to the sacred tree, Moroku's curse, and the death of Sango's family. Naraku was born from the fusion of Anigamo, a crippled human bandit tended by Kikyo, and a horde of weak demons. Driven by frustrated lust for Kikyo, Anigamo made a bargain with the demons. They could eat his flesh, and the demons would combine into one entity to become part of that new body. However, the resulting half-demon promptly caused Kikyo's death in an attempt to corrupt and possess the Shiken Jewel, his intent being that she would use the jewel to save herself, and thus both would be corrupted and be his. Unlike other half-demons, he can choose what time will he lose his powers. However, he reverts to a head attached to multiple demons. During this time, he discards the weaker demons that he's attached to. Naraku is driven by 3 goals: to become a full demon, to possess a fully corrupted Shiken Jewel, and to possess Kikyo. The 3rd goal is rooted in Anigamo's heart as a vital part of Naraku's body, causing an obsession with Kikyo that prevents him from killing her. He attempts to rid himself of Anigamo's heart multiple times, ultimately separating it into globs of flesh he leaves in Mount Hakure. With his heart freed from his obsession, he is able to later kill Kikyo. On his final death, he faintly remembered why he made the bargain in the first place and expressed regret at not being able to have Kikyo for his own. When Kagome was able to wish the Shiken Jewel out of existence, the purifying light hit Naraku's soul, cleansing him of all evil. He then understood the true essence of peace and recovered himself from his sins as he faded away. Throughout the series, Naraku creates many subordinate beings from his own body to aid his goal of killing his opponents and reuniting the shards of the Shiken Jewel, whose corrupted form he hopes to use to gain ultimate power. Powers and abilities. High intellect. Naraku was very intellectual and knowledgeable of the various individuals and powers that existed within the feudal era which he could use to his advantage. Whenever there came a hurdle in his pursuit of obtaining a complete corrupt Shiken Jewel that he himself couldn't overcome on his own, Naraku usually set out to gather information and intelligence in order to use them to his advantage. His knowledge and intelligence gathering was as such that he usually knew about a certain individual and their unique abilities sometime before he confronted them to make use of them before they even realized it. Manipulation. Naraku was shown to be a master at manipulating demons and humans alike. Throughout the series, he manipulated many people to get what he wanted without getting his own hands dirty. Possibly the most important instance of his manipulation was when he tricked Inuyasha and Kiki into thinking they had betrayed each other. Naraku transformed into Inuyasha, cut Kiki down, and fatally wounded her. He then transformed into Kiki and attacked Inuyasha. This caused Inuyasha to feel resentment toward Kiki and he went to go steal the sacred jewel. Kiki, in turn, thought that Inuyasha had betrayed her and used the last of her strength and spiritual power to shoot a sealing arrow at Inuyasha, which pinned him to the sacred tree for 50 years. This, ultimately, was to make the sacred jewel tainted for Naraku and to get rid of both Kiki and Inuyasha. This one instance put the entire series in motion and set Inuyasha and the others on their quest to destroy him. Though, there were many other instances in the series where Naraku manipulated others. For example, when Naraku offered the same wish to Sesshomaru, when he forced a grief-stricken Kage to confront Inuyasha, and the numerous times that he controlled Kahaku, just to name a few. Strategy. Naraku was also very strategic in his pursuit for the Shiken Jewel shards and for facing off with his enemies. Naraku usually employed the use of Sayamiyasho in order to observe the progress of the various groups in order to effectively delay them as much as possible. There were times when Inuyasha and his group confronted Naraku. It's usually his demon puppets that ended up destroying in order to gather intelligence about their powers for Naraku to counteract against it. Swordsmanship. Naraku had some skills in using a sword as when he manipulated Sango to bring Tessugah to him at his phantom castle. Naraku was able to easily fend her off by using an ordinary samurai sword and some of his demon powers before Inuyasha and others arrived. Though given that this was the only instance that Naraku had displayed direct combat against his enemies by using his combat skills, it's unknown how proficient he was at swordsmanship. Black magic. Naraku knew many different spells and curses. A prime example being the Wind Tunnel, and the Illusionary Death, which was used to distract Inuyasha's group when they tried to rescue Kiki from him. However, while Naraku is proficient in the use dark spells and curses, it's not his primary power to use and thus he required the Dark Priestess, Tsubaki's help to curse Kagome with an advanced curse. Demon puppets. One of Naraku's trademark spells are conjuring demon puppets which resembled him in his baboon pelt. Naraku controlled them from afar and could see through their eyes. They were mostly made of mud and soil, and were able to spring roots in order to attack opponents. They would only disappear if their heart was destroyed, which was a golem with a piece of Naraku's hair that was wrapped around it. Following Mount Hakurei, Naraku no longer employed the usage of demonic puppetry as he could survive attacks that would have killed him in the past. Samish control. Naraku's minion wasps from hell. He kept a hive of them with him at all times. Their most common use for preventing the wind tunnel from being used, or for poisoning the descendants of Monk Miyatsu, who were unfortunate or foolish enough to suck them in. They were also useful for spying on Naraku's enemies, communicating with his subordinates, and gathering jewel shards. Their stings were fatally toxic to both humans and demons alike, but they were rather weak as far as demons went. Many of them were killed by Inuyasha and his group. Shape-shifting. Naraku could take the form of anyone or anything that he chose, usually a humanoid, and change his voice along with his physical appearance. He possessed the young lord, H.A.Y, and remained in that standard form for the rest of the series. We're told by Moroku that every time his grandfather battled Naraku, the demon appeared in a different form, being defeated when Naraku took the form of a beautiful young woman. The most important instance of his shape-shifting would be the time that Naraku had disguised himself as Kiki and Inuyasha and made them hate one another. As his scent didn't change with his form, Naraku ceased using this ability as Inuyasha and Kage could smell his scent. Enhanced strength, much like Sesshomaru, Naraku was far stronger than a normal demon, being capable of demolishing boulders and the surrounding area, though he seldom resorted to combating with physical strength. Enhanced speed, Naraku could move faster than the eye could see, both in the air and on the ground. He managed to fight against Inuyasha and his group many times through his natural speed, though he usually retreated after a short time. Flight, similarly to Sesshomaru, Naraku possessed the ability to float midair, and to ride upon a cloud of his own Shiki. After his transformation into a full Ikai, Naraku never chose to employ his Shiki-sustained flight, but flew only by the strength of his will, while in his barrier. Absorption, Naraku was able to absorb other demons into his body, adding their powers and their bodies to his own. This was primarily how he gained strength, by seeking out and absorbing strong demons, and giving him access to their powers. Naraku could also expel weaker body parts in order to rid himself of them. Demon parts, as he was made up of multiple demons in one body, Naraku was able to manipulate their body parts at will in order to restructure and strengthen his body, and he could also regenerate himself from injury and reform his body parts if they were cut off. He most commonly used these parts to form tentacles, which he used to attack. Incarnation creation, Naraku could make incarnations out of his own body to do his dirty work for him. Most had a spider mark on their back, which was a result of being born from Naraku when he still was a Hani with a Nigamo inside him. He often removed their hearts to ensure loyalty with the price of death for disobedience. Energy projection, Naraku sent out one or more of the horns on his elbows in a zigzag beam attack, or extended his fingers into tentacles with a glowing attack at the tip of his fingers to attack his foes. In the manga, this attack was of a silverish color, while in the anime it was of a purple color. Armor Shell, upon absorbing Rimuru, Naraku gained the armor shell of Midge, being able to change its size for his own purposes. He also gained the ability to cover himself at will with Rimeru's impenetrable shell. It was revealed that Naraku was hiding the Shiken jewel underneath that shell. Live body pieces, after absorbing the infant/Rimeru, Naraku gained the Haku puppet's ability to remotely control his flesh and send them out to scout for other demons whose abilities could prove useful. Naraku used this ability to detach his head while using his spider webs, which made it easier for him to flee. It was also used when Naraku had several of his tentacles and other excessive appendages attack Kahaku for his shard. It was presumably what allowed his armored copies to move without being directly connected to him. Spider webs. Following his reabsorption of Enigamo's heart a second time, Naraku gained the ability to create threads of spider silk. Only those of high spiritual power, such as Kiki and Kagome, could see them at all times. Naraku could make the webs visible at will if he wanted. Anyone whose heart was corrupt would easily be caught in the webbing, which allowed Naraku to further defile their hearts if he wished. He could also show them illusions. The appearance of this ability further nodded toward his nature as a spider half-demon. In his final transformation, Naraku created a giant body in the shape of a spider, which could, obviously, send out threads of spider web to ensnare other demons to add to his body. Naraku used these spider webs to further poison Kiki, who had not fully recovered from his attempt on her life at Mount Hakure, which ultimately led to her final death. Shinix, Naraku was shown using various psychic powers and capabilities, including levitation, telepathy, telekinesis, teleportation, mind control, illusion casting, and astral projection. Immense demonic power, as Naraku started off as a spider Hanyo who came into existence from the merging of many demons with a human, he didn't have much demonic power. Throughout the course of the series, as he continued collecting more Shiken Jewel shards and absorbed many demons, whether they be ordinary or powerful, Nariku's own demonic powers in turn increased significantly. This was demonstrated on the fact that after he had obtained his new body in H.A.Y, Nariku was able to overpower the strength of the Kaze no Kizu, which in turn allowed him to take control of it and managed to evenly combat against Sesshomaru alone while in the border to the netherworld for some time, though it was only because of his barrier that he was able to last that long against the older Daiokai. After feeding his soul to the complete corrupt Chicken Jewel in the final battle against all of his enemies, Nariku gained the ability to combat against all of them at the same time with little effort, which included Inuyasha with his new power in Tesshiga and Sesshomaru using Bakusaiga for a prolonged period time so that his severed body could destroy Kaed's village. Barrier. The most well-known and signature ability of Nariku was his barrier, which prevented the foe from finding or attacking him. At first his barrier was only useful in hiding his presence. As he gathered more shards of the jewel, Nariku became powerful enough to erect a barrier strong enough to survive the Kaze no Kizu. After Nariku had purged his human heart, the barrier became so powerful that nothing but the Kongsha and Kiki's sacred arrow was able to penetrate it. Deflection. Whenever someone sent an attack of a ki into Nariku's barrier, he could channel the flow of the attack into his own Jaki and then attack his opponents with it. However, this could only be done with attacks that could not penetrate his barrier, which meant that it was useless against Inuyasha's Kongsha. High-speed regeneration. Nariku could quickly heal his own wounds and also put back together severed pieces of his body. He could control 100% of his body all the time, even when his body parts or even head were severed, which came in handy when he was trying to absorb someone. However, there was a limit to how much he could regenerate. The more damage that he took, the more time he would need later on to recover. Too much damage could kill him, which was why he had to flee from his enemies in the beginning of the series. Usually, he would absorb demons to speed up his regeneration process. Immortality. After he created his new body and removed his heart, which came out as the infant, Nariku was able to regenerate no matter how much damage his body had taken since his life force wasn't in his body. In fact, this new form of regeneration that Nariku gained caused Kikyo to believe that the only way to destroy him was to utterly destroy his very being, and that was by purifying his soul through purifying the last corrupt Chicken Jewel shard that had harbored in his body. After Nariku detached himself from his body and merged with the complete corrupt Chicken Jewel, he was able to recover from nearly any damage that was dealt to him, including direct hits from Inuyasha's new Miedo Zangzuha and Sesshomaru's new Bakusaiga, that had the special property of spreading acidic damage and thus was the bane of Nariku. In this final form, Nariku was only vanquished when Kagam, with her full spiritual powers, purified him by shooting a final sacred arrow through the Chicken Jewel. Human/demon shift. Unlike Inuyasha, who was forced to become fully human on the night of the new moon every month, Nariku, as a half-demon with an Igamo inside him, could choose what time of the month that he lost all of his powers. Unlike Inuyasha, who became a normal human, Nariku was merely a human head that was attached to a mass of Ikai parts during this time, which he used to experiment with his body and rid himself of any unnecessary parts. Since the events that transpired on H.A.Y, Nariku no longer had to become human at any time. Miasma manipulation. Nariku's trademark, a poison which killed anything that touched it. It's what made his poisonous gas. Nariku used it to cover his entrances and exits, and could surround himself with the gas while flying. He created a false Chicken shard for Keiga with this substance. It was able to power Keiga in the manga and anime for a while until it backfired, poisoned him, and ultimately lead him to remove it with the help of Kagam. Nariku's body was filled with it, which was why when a foe bit him or even touched him she got poisoned. Later on, as his power grew upon his transition to full demon, Nariku's Shiki was able to take on a liquid form and acted like a river of acid. His Shiki was so strong that it allowed him to break away pieces of the nearly completed Chicken no Tama to use in his schemes. In the current manga, he could melt entire mountains. Over time, his Shiki had become so dangerous that after he infected Kiki with it, neither Kagam nor Kiki's purification powers seemed to be able to purify it. Kiki absorbed Midoriko's soul in order to protect herself. but she commented that she didn't know how long Midoriko's power could last against Neriku's venom, in the regard that she and Midoriko remained at the same strength while Neriku continued to increase in power. Eventually, even the influence of Midoriko was nullified with Neriku's absorption of the tree demon and Rimeru. Phantom Castle. Neriku was seen having the ability to create various phantom castles as temporary headquarters throughout the series. After being nearly killed by the Red Tessagah, Neriku abandoned the usage of these castles, and decided to be constantly on the move to avoid being found. Dormancy. Neriku had the ability to hide himself within one of his servants and make it appear as though he had disappeared, or have been killed. A simple task. He got himself killed and hid within the body of a servant of his choice. The only instance we saw this was when he hid himself inside of Kahaku. When he was close to emerging from Kahaku, a spider mark appeared on his back. To further this scheme, Neriku made Miroko's Kazana disappear and returned Kagura's heart to her. This only happened in the movie, Inuyasha, The Castle Beyond the Looking Glass. *****. We were shocked. Me? Whoa. Holy shit. Lincoln, I didn't know Neriku was that dangerous. Lainey, he has the face of an angel, but the heart and soul of a monster and devil. Me, he's like a mixture of Orochimaru and Aku in one. Just what the universe needs. Another fucked up madman running amok and messing with powerful forces that he has no knowledge of understanding. Aline C. And I'll bet he makes even the devil himself look like a joke. Naruto? No kidding. Suzuki, but that Sesshomaru guy looks like he's really dangerous. He reminds me in every way about how attacky was when he killed the Uchiha. Me, he did act like him. But he doesn't have Attacker's powers or a blue crescent moon emblazoned in the middle of his forehead. Kaiba, and can turn into a giant wolf and is full demon. Me, yet. I looked up Sesshomaru's information. *****. He is the son of the great dog demon and another dog demon. He saw his father as the ultimate opponent, wishing to defeat him in combat and take his two legendary swords, Tessagah and Soyunga. He talked with his father following the battle with Ryakatsu Ci, demanding the two swords be handed over to him. However, when questioned if he had anyone to protect, Sesshomaru told his father that he did not. After his father died to protect his half-brother, Inuyasha, and his human mother, Sesshomaru began hating them. He was given the Tenseiga instead of the other two swords to eventually teach him compassion. Seeking out the Tessagah, Sesshomaru began his quest for the Tessagah by searching for the place that a short poem indicated it would be. Seen yet never seen, protected, but never known to its protector. This was the only known clue as to Tessagah's location. His Kappa servant, Jaken, suggested they go to his younger brother, Inuyasha, to ask where his father's grave located. Sesshomaru and Jaken are then next seen riding on a huge ogre-looking demon and attacks a woman in a flying carriage. Inuyasha tries to save the woman, but Jaken tries to fry Inuyasha, gaining Inuyasha's attention. Sesshomaru praised Inuyasha for him and taunts him for being a half-demon. He then asked him where their father's grave was, but Inuyasha told him that he doesn't know. Sesshomaru proceeds to tell Inuyasha that if he doesn't answer, he will kill the woman in the carriage, Inuyasha's mother. Inuyasha at first doesn't believe that the woman is his mother. However, after hearing from the woman that she is truly his mother brought back from the dead, Inuyasha attempts to attack the demon and save her. Sesshomaru ordered the demon to attack them, but before they could get hurt, Inuyasha's mother transported them to a different place. Sesshomaru was annoyed by Jaken's bothersome plan and tells him that if it should fail, he would kill him. Jaken goes to where Inuyasha was located and it's revealed that the woman was not Inuyasha's mother, but a demon called the Unmother. The Unmother was a spirit of women who had their children killed by war. To lure Inuyasha into revealing the secret to the whereabouts of the Tessagah, Sesshomaru then appeared and gloated that he knew where their father's tomb was. He grabs Inuyasha and pulled a black pearl from Inuyasha's eye. He then used the Nintoho Jaken carries to open a portal from the black pearl. He and the others jumped in, traveling to the world between the living and the afterlife. Sesshomaru enters the skeleton of his late father and attempts to pull out the Tessagah, but he is unable to pull out the sword due to a spell on the sword which prevents full demons from touching it. Inuyasha arrives and tries but fails to pull it out. Sesshomaru then attacks Inuyasha. Kagome, who was knocked back by Jaken, with the sword in her hand pulls it out by accident. Sesshomaru, enraged by the fact that a lowly human could pull out the Tessagah, demanded Kagome that she must submit the sword to him. However, Kagome refused, and threatened that she'd cut him with the sword. Inuyasha warned Sesshomaru to stay away from Kagome for good. Sesshomaru, who hated humans and half-demons alike, then sprayed toxic sludge upon Kagome, covering her alive. He also remarked to Inuyasha that Inuyasha's love for human was what made him weak, just like his mother. Inuyasha is furious and attacks him not only because of what he did to Kagome but also because Sesshomaru insulted the memory of Inuyasha's human mother, saying that she has dirty blood. Kagome pops out of the goo and is unharmed because the Tessagah protected her. She gives it to Inuyasha and Sesshomaru tests him and the sword by transforming into his demon form, which is a giant white dog with all his distinguished markings. Sesshomaru and Inuyasha start to battle. Inuyasha uses the Tessagah, which looks like a useless scrap of metal, and it doesn't work. Sesshomaru begins to poison up the inside of his father, forcing Inuyasha and Kagome to escape outside. Inuyasha tells Kagome that she's crazy to think that he needs to believe in the sword to make it work. Kagome starts crying, asking if she should give up hope, and Inuyasha tells her to shut up so he can protect her. As Inuyasha approaches Sesshomaru to get the fight over with, the sword starts pulsing and suddenly transforms into a huge fang-like sword. Inuyasha then slices off Sesshomaru's left arm, so he is forced to flee. Neroku lends a hand. A band of outlaws, who had just raided a poor village, are riding through a land where demons supposedly come out at night. They see someone ahead and assume that it is merely a human, and they start to attack. The man kills them all with one stroke of his arm. The man is Sesshomaru. Jaken walks up to him through the grass and congratulates his master on destroying the men so quickly. Sesshomaru throws his arm, that he used to defeat the men, on the ground. He had defeated a demon and had stolen it from him. Sesshomaru cannot find a permanent arm to use after Inuyasha had cut off his arm. Neroku appears behind Sesshomaru and offers him a human arm. He says that Sesshomaru could not touch the Tessagah because he's a demon, but if he used a human arm he could. He also gives him a hive that would be used to block the hole in Miroku's hand. Neroku asks Sesshomaru to use his gifts to defeat Inuyasha for him. A huge shadowy claw then zooms across the sky and starts wreaking havoc on a town. It turns out to be another of Sesshomaru's shadow beasts, and the villagers fled in fear. Sesshomaru is releasing poison from his hand, and Inuyasha covers his nose with his sleeve and coughs while Kagome, Miroku, and Shippo back away. Sesshomaru says that he came to claim the Tessagah. They go outside to find Sesshomaru, Jaken, and their big ogre demon. Inuyasha and Sesshomaru fight for a while, and Sesshomaru uses his human arm to take the Tessagah. He shows Inuyasha how to slay 100 demons with one stroke of the blade. They fight for a while before Miroku steps in and uses his wind tunnel. Sesshomaru releases the hive and the insects from hell fly into Miroku's hand. Miroku is poisoned and he cannot fight. Kagome runs to get him an antidote. Inuyasha continues to fight with Sesshomaru while Miroku and Shippo fight Jaken, who uses his Nintoho, tossing fire at them. Sesshomaru is about to kill Inuyasha with the Tessagah when an arrow comes flying at it and reverts its transformation. Kagome is seen standing on a hill with her bow and arrow out. She says the next one will go in his heart and warns Inuyasha to move away. Sesshomaru charges at Kagome, but Inuyasha jumps in front of him and takes the blow for her. Later on in the battle, Inuyasha manages to tear off Sesshomaru's arm, but gets stabbed by Sesshomaru's poison claws in the process. Sesshomaru and Jaken leave, and the insects retrieve the jewel shard in Sesshomaru's arm. Tessagah vs. Tenseiga. Sesshomaru, dissatisfied with his sword, Tenseiga, wishes to have the old, absent-minded swordsmith Todesai make him a new one. The unwilling Todesai has Inuyasha defend him, causing the brothers to fight. Todesai reveals the heritage of Sesshomaru's sword before creating a diversion to allow Inuyasha and the rest of his companions to escape. Soon after leaving Inuyasha and his companions, Todesai is attacked by Sesshomaru. Once again, Inuyasha battles his brother as Todesai's protector, but must now face Sesshomaru's newest defense, a dragon's arm. As Inuyasha and Sesshomaru continue to duel for possession of Tesseiga, both brothers discover the unexpected power of their respective inheritances, as Inuyasha discovers the true power of his sword, and Sesshomaru, who called his sword useless, is saved by his Tenseiga, which teleports him to another location. After the fight, an orphaned human child, Rin, attempts to nurse the injured Sesshomaru back to health. Though he initially tries to scare her off, she returns to him, hardened at the smallest show of interest. After being healed up he leaves, but ends up smelling her blood, so he goes to see her only to learn she's been mauled to death by some of Koga's wolves, while trying to return to him. Sesshomaru was initially going to ignore her, but moved by curiosity and prompted by Tenseiga's pulsing, tests the blade on her, cutting down the minions of hell that have come to collect her soul and restoring her to life. He walks off and Rin follows him, becoming his traveling companion for the duration of the series. Sesshomaru's new sword. After finding the corpse of the fallen Gashinki and detecting Inuyasha's scent on it, Sesshomaru takes the demon's head to Kaijinbo, the rogue swordsmith and former disciple of Todesai, in order to commission a sword made from Gashinki's head. On the same day Kaijinbo arrives, possessed, and wielding his newest creation Tokaijin, Inuyasha has transformed into his human form, being defenseless. Then luckily Todesai appears and gives Inuyasha his sword, which is too heavy for him to lift. Kaijinbo is destroyed by his own creation, the sword T-Kaijin, because it is too evil for its maker to wield. Kagura directs Sesshomaru to Tokaijin and watches as the demon claims his sword and wields it against his brother. While Inuyasha and his friends escape before they feel the full brunt of Sesshomaru's new sword, Kagura decides that Sesshomaru may be strong enough to kill Neruko. Inuyasha's true nature. Inuyasha's demonic transformation gives him great power, but no sense of control over himself as he kills indiscriminately, which Sesshomaru discovers after listening to the wisdom of Bokusino, a demon tree, and friend of his father. When he arrives he learns that Inuyasha cannot control the demon blood in him, but he decides not to kill him. The Panther Demons. A group of Panther Demons come after Kagome for her Shiken Jewel shards, but seem more interested in attacking Inuyasha and Sesshomaru. Seeking revenge for the defeat of their master at the hands of Inuyasha and Sesshomaru's father, they kidnap Kagome. Inuyasha breaks into the Panther Demon's barrier using Tesseiga's new ability. After Mayaga reveals why the demons are seeking revenge, everyone splits up to confront the Panthers separately. To resurrect their master, the Panther Demons have captured entire villages to sacrifice. However, when the master is revived, he unexpectedly kills 3 of them to return to life, and Inuyasha and Sesshomaru end up cooperating to defeat the Panther Demon leader. To defeat the Panther Demon's master, Sesshomaru uses the Tenseiga to bring the rest of the Panther Demons back to life. Sesshomaru understood that the other 3 Panther Demons' lives were taken by the master in order for the master to heal, and thus the master died when they were resurrected. Rin is kidnapped. Kagura kidnaps Rin, and threatens Lord Sesshomaru with her life unless he kills Inuyasha, an ultimatum Sesshomaru ignores. Inuyasha breaks through Neruko's barrier with his newly gained power, the Red Tesseiga. Meanwhile, Kagome and the others pursue the lone Shiken shard Kagome senses, which is Kahaku, who has been charged with guarding Rin. Neruko is forced to fight both Sesshomaru and Inuyasha, who work together to seriously wound Neruko until their sibling rivalry gets the better of them. The fight is halted when Neruko remotely orders Kahaku to kill Rin before vanishing, which forces Sesshomaru to leave and save the girl's life. When he arrives he is about to kill the boy by strangling him, but decides to spare him, because he knew that Kohaku wanted to die. He then leaves together with Rin. Koga meets Sesshomaru. Sesshomaru and Koga are both still looking for Naraku. Jinta and Hakeku are fishing on a stream when Rin and Jaken run across them. Rin is scared because she was attacked by Koga's wolf clan. They are scared off by Sesshomaru and they flee to find Koga. They come upon Koga and Inuyasha fighting. After finding out about Sesshomaru from Kagam, Jinta, and Hakeku decide to keep Koga away from Sesshomaru. They think Koga will want to defeat Inuyasha's brother. Of course this does not work out and Sesshomaru and Koga meet but don't fight each other. Instead, they each help each other out by saving the other's respective parties and go their separate ways. Mount Hakure. When Sesshomaru arrives on Mt. Hakure, he saves Kagam, Moroku, and Sango from the poison user Mukotsu, one of the band of 7. However, when confronted with the fact that he saved Kagam and the others, he merely states, "I only killed him because he wouldn't answer my questions." Later on, Shippo tells Inuyasha that Kagam, Moroku, and Sango stopped breathing due to the poison. Inuyasha goes off to be alone, and starts cutting down trees and yelling in frustration, seeking vengeance on the band of 7 and on Naraku. In his rage, Sesshomaru appears and asks him why he's so inconsolable. Inuyasha explains, and Sesshomaru tells him that half-demons can barely protect themselves, let alone others. Inuyasha, tired of being mocked, says that if he kills Sesshomaru, he would have the Tenseiga and could revive his friends, to which his brother says a half-demon could never master the sword. Inuyasha starts to strike Sesshomaru but the illusion disappears, suggesting it was all in Inuyasha's head to begin with. After Mukotsu's death, Naraku orders the 5 remaining band of 7 to kill Sesshomaru as well. So, Jakotsuo and Sokotsuo go after him, former noting that protecting Rin is Sesshomaru's weakness. Later on, Sokotsuo and Jakotsuo had Sesshomaru cornered and they threatened to kill Rin if Sesshomaru made a move. Sesshomaru pulls an impressive maneuver, tossing away his sword behind him and impaling Sokotsuo with it, then dashing ahead into the path of Jakotsuo's snake sword and plunging his claws into Jakotsuo's heart. However, Sesshomaru, thinking that was enough to kill them, lets his guard down, and as Rin runs away from her captors, Sokotsuo grabs her and gets ready to kill her. Jakotsuo tells Sesshomaru he'll be too late to save her, but suddenly Kikyo arrives and manages to stop Sokotsuo with her sacred arrow. He later watched as Naraku's miasma destroyed the vegetation on Mt. Hakure and several demons escaped from the destroyed barrier. Possibly watching Naraku's attempt to kill Kikyo, Sesshomaru appeared before him. He believed that since he's emerged from hiding, he has grown stronger. Testing his theory, Sesshomaru destroyed Naraku's body, but the force of Tokaijin was sent back by Naraku's barrier. He made one final slash that ripped Naraku's head in half. However, he had no success in destroying him for good, watching as he fled once more. When Inuyasha arrived to see Kikyo's broken bow, Sesshomaru berated his brother for not being able to save her, telling him to chase Naraku instead of yelling at him. The woman who loved Sesshomaru. Sesshomaru came across Sarah Asano, a woman who had been watching him recover following his first attempt to take Tessugah. She offered to grant his wish, to possess Tessugah, not knowing that his main desire now was to find and kill Naraku for using him. Sesshomaru told her to do as she wished, believing she may be useful. When Jaken questioned him as to who she was, Sesshomaru told him that Sarah was human once, but never fully became a demon. He later appears when Sarah successfully stole Tessugah, destroying the crow demon she used for transport. Sesshomaru refused to accept Tessugah from Sarah as he does not need help in defeating Inuyasha, especially from her, and fled into the forest. Sarah followed him and found him at the same tree where he laid injured from his first battle from Inuyasha and where Sarah came upon him. Listening to her tale of how she came to know him, Sesshomaru noticed the demonic side of her had emerged. Inuyasha arrives to reclaim the Tessugah. Sarah attempted to restrain and kill him, but Homaru steps in the way and strikes her and revealed that the demons she made a pact with were using her spiritual powers as a bridge so they can absorb him. Learning Tokaijin's hatred feeds the demons. He temporarily managed to wield Tessagá and destroy her. As Sarah faded into golden dust, he listened to her declare her love for him. Once she passed away, Homaru placed Sarah's flute in her remains and then said, "Go play your flute in the netherworld." Battle in the afterlife. Homaru followed the scent of a flood of blood to the decapitated Teke and wondered what had happened. Kagura appeared and informed him Naraku had gone to the border between the living and the dead to retrieve the final jewel shard. She leads him to the gate in the land of fire. There, he drew Tenseiga, pacifying Gozu and Mizu, and allowing him to enter the gate without being turned to stone. He flew to his father's grave once more and tried repeatedly to break Naraku's barrier. Naraku taunted him by allowing superfluous limbs to be destroyed. However, once Inuyasha gained and used the diamond spears that broke Naraku's barrier, Homaru's attack tore him to pieces. Seeing Naraku had fled back to the world of the living, Homaru headed back to the gate with Inuyasha's group. Forever with Lord Homaru. While searching for Naraku, Homaru came across a village under attack by bandits, killing them once they attack him. Monks arrived shortly after and questioned if he was responsible for attacking the village. Homaru created distraction and left. During his absence, Rin was kidnapped by Ongokyuki. Homaru tracks him down, but finds the very same monks he encountered earlier having rescued her and several other children. Knowing that Rin should live with humans, Homaru was willing to allow her to leave, but intervened when Rin called out for his help. Holding back, Homaru destroyed their charms and told Rin to follow him if she chooses. She did. Homaru is later taken off guard by a question from Rin. "When I die, will you always remember me?" Though masking his true feelings, Homaru says, "Don't say such silly things." Kagura's death. Kagura, one of Naraku's incarnations, later betrays Naraku to obtain her freedom. She believes that only Homaru can defeat him. She also was hinted to have romantic feelings for him, just like Sarah. After trying to attack Gorimara's temple and getting injured, she fell into a river near Homaru's group. Recovering, she explains Naraku is using an orb known as the Fuyohaki to hide his heart. Homaru is given crystal shards of demonic energy to help him find Naraku's heart. Homaru entrusts Jaken to look after the crystals. During a battle with Muryomaru, Homaru catches the scent of Kagura's blood and Naraku's miasma. Muryomaru insults her, which angers Homaru and he manages to break through Muryomaru's defenses, breaking Tokaijin in the process. He leaves the sword behind, choosing to obtain a new one instead of reverting Tokaijin. Just as Kagura thinks she'll die alone in the field of flowers, Homaru appears before her, much to the wind sorceress' surprise. Homaru tells Kagura that he picked up the scent of blood and miasma. Kagura replies, "I see, you thought I was Naraku. Are you disappointed that I'm not Naraku?" Homaru replies to her, "I knew it was you." He reaches for Tenseiga but then realizes at that moment that she can't be saved. Kagura is happy she got to see Homaru one last time. She looks up at him and smiles as she dies. She then turns into the wind and disappears. When Inuyasha comes right after Kagura dies, he asks Homaru if she suffered. Homaru simply looks toward the sky and says, "She was smiling," and then walks away. Miyado Zangzuha. Tenseiga called out to Todesai at this time and he later states that the sword told him that Homaru's heart had felt something it had not before, rage and sorrow, which he had felt for another person and not just himself. Because a technique that sends one's foes directly to the netherworld is so potent and dangerous in the wrong hands, Homaru's heart had to be mature enough to wield it responsibly. In this way, Kagura's death helped Homaru to mature and become a more powerful, responsible individual. When Homaru learns how to perform Miyado Zangzuha, he reflects on Kagura's death, and how Muryomaru told him that she had died for nothing. He then thinks to himself, "I, Homaru, will be the one to decide if she died for nothing." The wind then blows, which Rin points out, and the group of 3 leave Todasai. The wind is meant to represent Kagura's spirit. Rin's second death. In an effort to strengthen and enhance Tensega's powers even further, Sesshomaru visits his mother in search of answers to make his Miedo complete. He ventures into hell after a demon from the underworld grabs Rin and Kahaku. The latter is still alive due to the jewel shard in his back, but Rin did not regain consciousness. Sesshomaru felt regret, believing he should never have brought her along and should have left her in a human village. He felt frustration and blamed himself for her death. Sesshomaru's mother offers him a way out of the underworld, which he declines. This offends her. Sesshomaru finds Rin in the grasp of the Master of Hell. After he slays the demon, he realizes Rin isn't reviving. He later learns that he can't resurrect her and states that enhancing and strengthening his sword is not worth the price of Rin's life. Dead bodies in hell surround them, and with his grief for Rin he uses Tenseiga to purify them. When he returns to the living world with Rin's body, his mother scolds him for thinking he was a god who could control life and death, and tells him Tenseiga can only revive the same person once, and she tells him that when his heart wishes to save his loved one, in reference to Rin, he must also at that moment feel both sadness and fear. This is what it means for him to have a compassionate heart. Sesshomaru could only learn to understand the worth of a life and gain a truly compassionate heart when he lost the life that meant the most to him, and a compassionate heart which is what is necessary for one to wield the Tenseiga's destructive power, which can dispatch enemies to the Miedo. His mother tells him not to expect her to do this twice, placing the Miedo stone around Rin's neck. Much to his relief and happiness, Rin is resurrected once more. His mother asks Jaken if Sesshomaru is happy when she revived Rin, and Jaken responds that it most likely he is extremely so. Bakusaiga and the final battle with Naraku. Sesshomaru realizes his true potential as a greater demon after Tenseiga's fighting technique, Miedo Zangzuha, is given to Inuyasha. Sesshomaru lets go of his obsession with Tessaiga in a battle with Magotsui, and regains not only his left arm, but also his own sword, Bakusaiga. Sesshomaru demonstrates his new sword's devastating power. Later he uses this sword while fighting Naraku along with Inuyasha's group in the final battle, aiding in the final destruction of the evil demon by destroying large amounts of Naraku's body. The epilogue. 3 years after the defeat of Naraku, Kaed has convinced Sesshomaru to let Rin grow up in a human village, and when she is older, she will be able to choose whether to stay with humans or go back to traveling with Sesshomaru. He often returns to the village to give Rin gifts. Sesshomaru was also quite annoyed when Kagam called him Big Brother. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. Me? Wow. Sesshomaru is an anti-hero. But he hates his brother. Lainey, that's not right. Lincoln, so now we have a new enemy to face. Me, and kill. But from the looks of things he is really powerful. We're gonna be in for one Hiluva fight. Jesse K, but how are we gonna get there? Inuyasha's world takes place during the Sengoku era of Japan back in the 1500s. Me, that was 500 years ago. Lucy Loud, I can help. My sword has the power to form portals that can take us to different dimensions and different times. Me, wow. This we got to see. Lucy then turned into her Super Angel 20,000 Darkness Vampire Raven form and she slashed the air with Nazagamuran and it cut a hole in the fabric of dimensions and it opened a portal that lead into the world of Inuyasha in the Sengoku era. Me, that is so cool. Nico, let's head in. We stepped through the portal and we were in the world of Inuyasha. Me, here we are guys. Sengoku era Japan, 16th century. Lincoln, it's beautiful here. It was a beautiful landscape. Naruto, so how are we gonna find Inuyasha? Me, we sense for his energy signal. I concentrated and found his energy signal up north. Me, this way. We went north following Inuyasha's energy signal. Up ahead was the posse of Inuyasha. Inuyasha the half-demon, Kagam Higurashi, Moroku the perverted wizard, Sango the demon slayer, Shippo the Kitsune and Kirara, Sango's assistant. Inuyasha heard us. Kagam, what is it Inuyasha? Inuyasha, something is coming. Moroku, a very powerful force. Sango, are they demons? Shippo, no, it's all a force of pure good. We landed by them. Kagam, oh wow. The world-famous team Loud Phoenix Storm. Me, it's a pleasure to meet you Kagam. Moroku, we heard so much about you from Kagam. It's an honor to meet you. Moroku then grabbed Kagam by her butt and she slapped him in the face, hard. Slap. Nicole then smashed Moroku into pulp and Mia grabbed her and calmed her down. Mia, calms Nicole down, easy. We're all on the same side here. Nicole, right sorry. Me, you'll have to forgive Nicole. She hates perverts with a terrible vengeance. Inuyasha, I can see that. Naruto, to Inuyasha, are you a ninja like me? Inuyasha, chuckles, no I'm not. We set up camp and told them what we were there for. Kagam, so you've all come to kill Naraku? Me, yep. We're gonna make that monster pay for his crimes and send him into the river of fire. Nicole, from what we saw, his crimes would make the Book of Vile Darkness too lenient for him. Lainey, yet. Naraku is a monster that makes even the devil himself look like a joke. Moroku, I'm not surprised. Naraku is a monster of ultimate evil and he will stop at nothing to destroy everything using the power of the Shiken Jewel. Kagam, that's the necklace around Inuyasha's neck. Me, I know. That jewel is really powerful and Naraku wants it so he can destroy the world. Lincoln, yet. Naruto, and for the record Inuyasha, I know exactly what you went through. Inuyasha, what do you mean Naruto? Naruto, like you, I had a dark childhood and it was a tragic one. Naruto revealed his background and everything he went through over the course of his life. Inuyasha was shocked. And so was Kagam. Inuyasha, I didn't know Naruto. You and I are very similar. Me, my brother and 8 others are like you Inuyasha. They had to endure what you went through and for that I'm sorry you went through all that. Inuyasha, it's all right JD. Me, good. But you know Inuyasha, that we're gonna face all of Naraku's minions and take them down. Inuyasha, I know. We'll gladly help you JD. Me, thanks Inuyasha. We have to work together if we're gonna take him down. And we'll need to find your brother Sashomaru and get him to help us. Kagam, there's no reasoning with that guy. But why do you want to kill Naraku? Me, his crimes can't go unpunished. We have to kill him and make sure that he pays for his crimes in the river of fire. Kagam, I agree. Inuyasha, I'm in. Me, let's go. We set out to kill all of Naraku's minions. First we killed Bangotsu. *****. Before the creation of the Band of 7, Bangotsu traveled around with Jakotsu, challenging every strong human and demon alike. He meets Naraku while heading to a battle, who made it there before him. Naraku then tells him about the Shiken no Tama before disappearing. Soon after this Bangotsu decides to create the Band of 7. Despite being an otherwise normal human, Bangotsu was an extremely powerful warrior. So much so he could defeat demons, which normally only demon slayers such as Sango could, or holy men and women like Moroku and Kagam. His strength is such that, despite only being a mere human, he is capable of equaling Inuyasha in battle prowess. After gaining more jewel shards, he nearly surpasses Inuyasha's strength, and even taunts him for being weak. However, he underestimated Inuyasha's endurance as the latter used it as a chance to remove Bangotsu's jewel shards. Upon slaying his 1000th demon, Bangotsu's Banri transformed into a powerful, demonic sword that could project the master's hatred into a powerful, destructive energy. Much like the nature of Sesshomaru's T-Kaijin, as noted by Inuyasha. Because of this transformation and the gaining of a demonic aura, Inuyasha was able to use the Bakuriha, which shattered Banri and defeated Bangotsu. Bangotsu's most well-known ability is being able to wield Banri skillfully. Aside from that, he also seemed to possess superhuman strength as seen in episode 110, when the Lord mentions that the sword was heavy enough that 3 strong men were required to lift it. He also possesses great endurance, speed, and agility, far above all the other members of his team. Though highly proficient with Banri, his weapon of choice, he also displays formidable skill in unarmed combat, as shown when he easily bests Rengatsu without his halberd, and later fights Inuyasha hand-to-hand. In the latter instance, it is shown that, despite Inuyasha's claws, Bangotsu nearly held a clear edge over Inuyasha, even after losing 2 of his jewel shards as he battered the latter with ease. However, it appears Inuyasha allowed himself to get injured to remove the shards in Bangotsu's neck, which seemed to be the case as Inuyasha remarked he can take more damage than Bangotsu can inflict. Weapon. Banri, barbaric dragon nicknamed Bangotsu's companion. Banri is a gargantuan halberd that, after being bolstered by the shards of the Shiken Jewel, can manipulate lightning and fire a variety of energy attacks. In the series of episodes that compose the Band of 7 arc, Bangotsu uses several jewel shards that Rengatsu stole from Kagome to strengthen the power of Banri. The jewel-empowered Banri is shown to able to effectively counter Inuyasha's Kaze no Kizu attack. The strength of Banri, enhanced with the Shiken jewel shards, is seemingly equal to that of the Tessugah. In the anime, Bangotsu, desiring a key, made a wish on his Banri, vowing to kill both 1,000 Dakai and 1,000 humans, so that it would gain demonic powers. It refers to the legend that, if a human were to ever kill 1,000 Dakai, he would gain powers that Dakai possess. He succeeds in fulfilling an wish, only to have said accomplishment lead directly to his downfall, as Inuyasha reflects the energy of the now demonic halberd back at Bangotsu, mortally wounding him and shattering the Banri. *****. I kept his halberd as a trophy. Next we killed Byakuya. Byakuya of the Dreams was the last of Neriku's incarnations, and the only one who was loyal to him in the end. He first appeared in chapter 398 of the Inuyasha manga and episode 4 of Inuyasha, the final act, and while he didn't engage in combat, he acted as a spy and informant to Neriku. Flight. Similar to Kagura's feather, Byakuya used an origami swan as transportation. Spying. Byakuya had the ability to detach his left eye to spy on Neriku's enemies from a distance. Sword. Never used it in combat, but instead used it in the final battle against Neriku to capture Inuyasha's Miedo Zangzuha, in order to cut Kagome with it and trap her in the Shiken Jewel. *****. Lincoln fired a massive blast of lightning and it electrocuted him and destroyed him. Lincoln kept his sword as a trophy. Laney then killed Gingatsu. *****. He first appears to fight Inuyasha to delay him while Rengatsu deals with his friends. Despite being a dangerous enemy, Inuyasha manages to defeat him. However, a tenacious Gingatsu tries to hinder Inuyasha after Rengatsu's true colors are revealed. Inuyasha still defeats him and manages to save his friends. Only Gingatsu's head survives the battle. Rengatsu then rebuilds Gingatsu as a transport mechanism for the Band of 7 to travel distances. After Koga gets to MT Hakure, Rengatsu and Gingatsu attempt to ambush him, only for Koga to defeat Gingatsu. The anime and manga differ in the manner of his demise. In the manga, he is killed when Koga stuffs his own armor into his gears, causing him to explode. In the anime, Gingatsu manages to survive the explosion and attempt a failed kamikaze on Koga. Gingatsu is literally a walking arsenal and has many advanced weapons, for his time period, at his disposal. *****. Lana then killed the dragon demon Gashinki and she got his powers. Super strength. Gashinki typically possesses enhanced strength for someone of size, able to easily defeat Inuyasha and fling him about whilst causing serious injuries. Super speed. Despite his size, Gashinki wields surprising agility, effectively dodging and countering Inuyasha's attacks. He leaves after images in his wake, much like Sesshomaru. Mind reading. Goshinki's most terrifying technique is the ability to invade other people's minds, reading their most inner thoughts to discover their weaknesses and counter any attack on him. However, Goshinki's power is ineffective against a full demon Inuyasha due his thoughts being primitive with an absolute bloodlust. Next, Sam SL faced Hakudoshi. Hakudoshi's first deed was becoming the master of the demon horse Entei. In the manga, Entei followed Kagura and chose Hakudoshi as his master. In the anime, Hakudoshi kills Entei's previous master, Rengokuki, impressing the demon horse. He serves as Hakudoshi's main mode of transportation until he is killed by Inuyasha. Hakudoshi also willingly told Inuyasha and his group that he was searching for the border to the afterlife, the location of the final jewel shard, and told Kagura that there was no point keeping it a secret. He eventually began severing the heads of demons instead of monks in order to learn about the border, and eventually learns that it is located at the gravesite of Inuyasha's father. He sends Kagura to test the gate guarded by Gozu and Mizu, resulting in her nearly being turned to stone. She returned and attempted to kill Hakudoshi, only to have her heart squeezed by Neruko. He later helped Princess Abi collect blood to heal her mother, while would eventually provide an alternate route to the border of the afterlife. Neruko eventually devised a plan to lure Kikyo out with an endless swarm of rat demons. Hakudoshi and Kahaku slew the demon commanding them, Zu Shinshumi, and unleashed the horde on the region, commanding Kahaku to leave the doors to the shrine that was producing the rat demons open. Kikyo eventually solved the rat problem by planting a magical tree to lure the rats toward it and purify them. Inuyasha and his group discovered many demon corpses, which had apparently been slain for their Haku, the part of the soul that allowed movement. It was eventually revealed that the stolen Haku was being used by Hakudoshi to create a demonic construct, named Muryomaru. Soon after Neruko discovered that his enemies knew that the infant was his heart, he stole the Fuyoha key to conceal the infant's demonic aura, and hid him inside Muryomaru. Eventually, Hakudoshi and the infant used this to their advantage, devising a plan of their own to betray Neruko. Hakudoshi told Kagura to release Goryomaru, a demon-slaying monk whom she had presumed was dead. It was revealed that the stolen Haku was being stored in Goryomaru's arm, which served as a blasting cannon of sorts, and that he and Muryomaru were one and the same. Hakudoshi and the infant began to hunt Kahaku for his jewel shard. Kagura decided to protect Kahaku, and told Inuyasha's group about Hakudoshi's plans. He attacked Kagura in a fit of rage following her betrayal, saying that even Neruko couldn't kill him, prompting his progenitor to abandon him and allow him to be killed by Miroku's wind tunnel. Powers and abilities. Naginata, Hakudoshi's weapon of choice, originally belonged to Rengokuki. Regeneration, can heal wounds just like Neruko. Barrier, is able to create a barrier similar to Neruko's. Flight, despite using Entei as his mode of transportation for a time, Hakudoshi is able to float without aid. She incinerated him in an instant. Dom then faced Hojiyomi. Hojiyomi eventually employed Kaijin, Tsai's evil former apprentice, to craft a weapon for him, after Tsukiyomi began to show extreme signs of fatigue from their battles. With the bodies of 222 demons, Kaijin forged the Naginata of Kenkan, Trans. Halberd of Heaven and Earth, a powerful sword with a stave in the middle of two separate, yet equally balancing powerful blades. After Hojiyomi received his prize, Tsukiyomi no longer had to fight their common foes, but he struggled with the evil from the sword that was possessing him. Tsukiyomi eventually sealed Hojiyomi within a pentagram with the intent of destroying the Naginata. However, her plans went awry as fatigue overtook her and she died before she could both destroy the Naginata or release Hojiyomi. During the story, decades later, Hojiyomi was freed and eventually reacquired both blades, one of which Akitoki H.A.Y had in his possession to guard, waging war on all of humanity for its betrayal. After creating a black hole-like vortex, Inuyasha and Kagome are eventually able to defeat him with the combined power of Inuyasha's backlash wave, Kagome's sacred arrow, and a little spiritual help from Tsukiyomi's soul. The Naginata of Kinkon is destroyed along with him. In addition, just before Hashiomi's death, he realizes Tsukiyomi's true intent, having begrudged her for sealing him away, of her last actions, forgives her, and, upon his death, is reunited with her. Demon Ninja Shadow Incarnation, Hoshiyomi has the ability to create doppelgangers of himself. Concealing copy is his true self so that his opponents will attack false enemies. However, this technique doesn't work very well when he battles Inuyasha, because the half-demon is able to detect which doppelganger is the real one by determining which one has a scent. Demon Ninja Shadow Hold, Hoshiyomi throws a dagger into the shadow of his opponent, holding them down by their silhouette and rendering them unable to move. However, when there is total darkness and the shadow is unrecognizable from the rest of the darkness, the technique weakens in power. This is seen when the light of the moon is covered up by clouds and Inuyasha notices that he can move again. Demon Ninja Pentacle Barrier, Hoshiyomi creates a barrier with a pentacle star spell, making it impossible to be disturbed. It's unknown if Inuyasha's red Tesseract would have been able to break the barrier, as Inuyasha, Akitoki H.A.Y, and the others were occupied with battling the 4 demon ninjas. Hoshiyomi dispels the pentacle barrier when the Naginata of Kinkon is completed, choosing to rely on only the blade for protection. Ball of Light, much like Sesshomaru, Hoshiyomi transforms into an orb of light when traveling great distances. This is seen when he flees with Kagome as his hostage. Weapons. Naginata of Kinkon. The Naginata of Kinkon was a weapon that was created by Kaijin. It consisted of 2 sharp-edged curving blades going into a tsuba, or handguard on either end of a long wooden rod. It was created using the souls of 222 Ikai. Aura. Giving off a dark purple malevolent aura, the demonic essence of the Naginata was powerful enough to corrupt and possess, as Tsukiyomi suspected, Hoshiyomi, forever changing his personality until his death. In one particular scene of note, Inuyasha is exposed to the unshielded aura of the Ken blade, while it is still in the possession of Akitoki H.A.Y. In that scene, it appears that Inuyasha loses himself completely to the evil influence of the blade, unable to hear the voices of his friends calling his name. It isn't until the blade is covered again that Inuyasha returns to himself, unsure of what had just occurred. This event demonstrates the evil corrupting power of the Naginata, and shows exactly the kind of influence that Hoshiyomi has fallen under. Barrier. Even with just the Kon blade, Hoshiyomi is still able to erect a yellowish barrier, exceedingly strong and powerful enough to withstand the power of Inuyasha's Kaze no Kizu, Wind Scar. Energy absorption, at least attributed to the Kon blade, the Naginata is able to absorb both demonic energy, as in the instance with the Tesseract, and spiritual energy, such as the instance with Kagome. In addition to this, the Naginata is able to emit this energy as a kinetsu, see definition below, shown when Hoshiyomi fired a blast at Inuyasha right after absorbing much of the Tesseract's demonic energy. The energy absorbed from Tesseract was comparable to Sesshomaru's first use of the Wind Scar. This ability is quite similar to Inuyasha's dragon-scaled Tesseract. Kinetsu. Kinetsu is the special ability that allows the Naginata to cut an opponent with its Iki without physically touching them. Crimson Sphere. It is one of the Naginata's strongest offensive attacks. It takes the form of an extremely huge crimson sphere of pure energy and can be directed at an opponent. If said attack connects with someone, the sphere engulfs them and quite possibly exterminates them into nothingness. Hoshiyomi uses this as a seeming last measure attack to kill Inuyasha and his band. Spherical Shockwave. Similar to Sesshomaru's spherical shockwave with the sword, T-Kaijin, a highly destructive sphere of demonic energy is created on the tip of the blade and dispersed in a spherical fashion. Hoshiyomi used this attack to slay a large number of Ikai in one stroke after they had surrounded him. This event is similar to the Kaze no Kizu, Wind Scar, which can destroy 100 yokai in a single swing. Nether Vortex. Quite possibly the Naginata's most powerful technique, and quite similar to them Yidzang Zuha. The nether vortex is a form of red Kanatsu burst that theoretically creates a portal to the invisible void between heaven and earth. This portal, however, also acts similar to a black hole in that it sucks in everything around it with irresistible force. See also Kazana. Being the space between the most powerful forces in the universe, it is speculated that with enough time that the black hole could absorb the entire world into would benefit H.A.Y's goal to destroy every human in the world, and that could be the reason why he used such a dangerous technique. Dawn fired a powerful blast of cosmic energy that turned into a deadly dragon, and it slammed into H.A.Y and obliterated him. Dawn, no one is gonna destroy this world as long as we have anything to say about it. Lola faced the demon Izumo. Izumo/Jaiwa was a half-demon born between a male temple monk and a female bull demon. In contrast to all other half-demons in the series, he was a pure human during the day, and a pure demon at night. He took the name Izumo for his human form. He sought a way to become a full human, because he found his existence as a half-demon bad. After visiting many countries, he learned about the Shuken no Tama, a sacred jewel that could transform a half-demon into a pure demon or a pure human being. This, however, was broken. Thereupon, Jaihuo teamed up with a group of demons who also sought this jewel to become more powerful. He created several false jewels, which the demons they used to make stronger, but were not even as powerful as the real jewel. In order to create a new jewel, he finally kidnapped Kagam and wanted to use and sacrifice her friends. But his plans failed, and the demons which has been allied with him were defeated. Finally, he tried to strengthen himself with the false jewels. When, however, he turned into a human at daybreak, the false jewels killed him. Powers and abilities. Jaihuo. High intellect. He has shown that he is really smart, and like a philosopher, to find the deeper meaning in many things. Kagam was even convinced that he was a scholar. Besides, he was also able to lure the friends into the trap with a clever plan. And he could create the false jewels. Superhuman powers. Like all half-demons, Jaihuo had more strength, stamina, and resilience than a human being. He was strong enough to make a landslide with a bow of his club. The demons who were allied with him could quickly defeated by Inuyasha, but Jaihuo was a strong opponent in the fight. Spiritual powers. In his human form he is more pure and spiritual than ordinary humans. Even wild birds sit down on his hands and shoulders. And even in his demonic form, he can still create a barrier strong enough to ward of the sword Tessugah. Miasma. He can also generate toxic fumes to attack his opponents. Lola fired a powerful blast of fire and incinerated him into nothing. Lucy faced the demon Jakotsu. Jakotsu first makes his appearance in episode 102. He soon becomes obsessed with Inuyasha, refusing to go after any other of the Band of Seven's enemies. He is often shown to despise women, attacking Sango when she interfered in the ongoing battle between himself and Inuyasha. In the past, he was good friends with Bangotsu, traveling with him even before the Shishinintai were formed. Jakotsu is mortally wounded under a pile of rubble during her final battle with Inuyasha. Rangotsu, who had become obsessed with immortality, dealt the killing blow to Jakotsu for his jewel shard. Jakotsudo. The Jakotsudo was a broadsword made of over 50 blades linked together by pins. When used with Jakotsu's skilled swordsmanship skills, it would flow around like a snake, being wild and unpredictable. Other than the Jakotsudo blade, Jakotsu had displayed keen reflexes during his battles. Lucy Loud slashed her with a powerful slash from Nizagamuran, and she sent her into the river of fire as a deadly burst of fire. She kept her broadsword as a trophy. Lucy Loud, you give all the spirits everywhere a really bad name. Next, Lori, Lana, and Brittany faced the wind demon Kagura, Kagaya the ice demon, and Kenna of the void. Kagura was created along with Kenna by Naraku to serve him, although she utterly despises him and wants him dead so she can have her freedom. Unfortunately for her, her heart lies in Neriku's hands, preventing her from openly betraying him. Her first mission was to kill Koga's wolf tribe, and make it appear as if it were Inuyasha's fault, which Koga temporarily believed. When she failed due to Inuyasha's wind scar, Neriku admitted to manipulating her, and she responded by attacking him with her folding fan. He then reminds her that he literally holds her heart in his hand, squeezing it for emphasis. From her first mission onward, she continues to fight Inuyasha and his allies while feigning loyalty to Neriku. Kagura later shows an interest in Sesshomaru, believing him powerful enough to destroy Neriku. When they first meet, Sesshomaru coldly dismisses her, telling her that if she wants Neriku dead she should deal with him herself. Sometime after, she abducts Rin in the hopes of luring Sesshomaru to Neriku's castle, and it works. When he cuts himself free of Neriku's tentacles, Kagura concludes that he will be the one to destroy Neriku. Following the Band of Seven arc, Kagura is charged with taking care of Neriku's latest incarnation, the infant, a task which she hated. After Neriku learns of the border to the afterlife, the infant searches for the border by reading the minds of monks and priests, whom Kagura promptly slays afterwards. She was pleased when Shinsen, a particularly powerful monk, was able to split the infant in half, apparently killing both. However, Kagura was quickly proven wrong, when the right half of the infant matured, creating Hakudoshi. She was then charged with working with the child. Hakudoshi took delight in ordering Kagura around, and she soon began to realize that there was something especially important about the infant, who was entrusted to Kanna, whom Neriku trusted more. When Hakudoshi sent Kagura to test the gate to the underworld guarded by Gozu and Mizu, she discovered that, when the gate opened, it turned all nearby living creatures to stone. Furious, she returned to Hakudoshi, attempting to cut him in half with her folding fan. Immediately after, Neriku squeezed her heart. It was at this point that Kagura became more active in her quest for freedom. She also came to the realization that the infant was Neriku's heart, and that by killing him, her master would be destroyed as well. At this point, Kagura begins to visit Sesshomaru more frequently, eventually leading Rin to speculate that she has a romantic interest in the Daiokai. She begins looking after Kahaku, and protects him as his memories begin to return. During the final act, Hakudoshi creates his own plan to betray Neriku, and tries to enlist Kagura's help, imploring her to free an imprisoned Goryomaru, a demon-slaying monk who had been presumably killed. Kagura had been charged with guarding him, and correctly assumed that Hakudoshi had traitorous intentions. When he and his demonic construct Muryomaru began targeting Kahaku for the jewel shard in his neck, Kagura actively protected him, allowing him to escape. She assists her longtime enemy Inuyasha by telling him that the infant is inside Muryomaru, and after Hakudoshi is slain by Moroku, Kagam offers Kagura to travel with them, which she declines because they had been enemies for too long. Neriku then returns Kagura's heart to her, granting her freedom, although he also injects her with his miasma. As she is dying in a field of flowers, she wonders if she will die alone, but is then visited by Sesshomaru. She proclaims that she wanted to see him one last time before vanishing into thin air, becoming the wind. Powers and abilities. Kagura wields the power of wind and often uses fans to amplify her powers in battle. Dance of Blades summons blades that can pierce almost anything. Her weakest and most common attack. Dance of the Dragon, a more powerful attack that summons tornadoes, rending her opponents asunder. Dance of the Dead, Kagura can animate corpses, using them as puppets, messengers, and meat shields. When she releases the corpse, it collapses and oozes foam. Flight, can transform one of her hairpins into a giant feather for transportation. Kagaya. Kagaya absorbed a celestial maiden, taking her appearance, name, and immortality, calling herself the Princess of the Heavens. She intended to use the celestial robe to stop time in order to bring eternal night, and rule the world as its queen. She would stop time without remorse and destroy all living things in her wake, and when she was active, there would always be a full moon, which would change color. However, she eventually encountered a monk named Miyatsu. Unable to bring himself to kill a beautiful woman, Miyatsu sealed Kaguya inside a mirror, which he hid at a shrine in the Forest of Illusion. The only way to release her was to gather the 5 items told in the fairy tale of Kaguya and drop them each in one of the 5 lakes around Mount Fuji. She was eventually discovered and awakened by Kagura and Kana following the supposed death of Naraku, whom she feared, having apparently encountered him. Promising to give Kagura freedom if she and Kana released her, Kaguya raised her dream castle from Lake Motosu, going forward with her plan to exterminate all life. Kagura and Kana collected the items and released Kaguya, who fought Inuyasha. When Kaguya reflected one of Kagam's sacred arrows at Inuyasha, Kagam took the hit for him, pinning the celestial robe to her back when a Katoki Hojo threw it to try to protect her. Kaguya offered to turn Inuyasha into a full demon if he became her servant, but he told her to go to hell, so she took Kagam to her dream castle, telling Inuyasha to meet her there. Kagam's wound was healed by the celestial robe, which Kaguya reclaimed. Kagura and Kana turned on Kaguya when they realized she wasn't going to keep her word, so she paralyzed them and sent them to the bottom of the lake. Then she froze time, but Kagam, being from the future, was unaffected, as was the rest of her team due to being protected by items she brought from the future. Kaguya decided to eat Kagam for her power, and when Inuyasha faced her, she turned him into a vicious full demon, but Kagam was able to return him to his senses through her love for him, and they shared their first kiss. In the middle of Inuyasha's fight with Kaguya, Naraku revealed himself to still be alive, having faked his death in order to draw Kaguya out and absorb her, which would make him immortal. Kaguya overpowered Naraku, and while Inuyasha fought her, Kagam shot her mirror with a sacred arrow, allowing Inuyasha to destroy her body with wind scar. However, Kaguya survived in a disembodied form resembling a cloud of darkness, and continued to try to absorb Kagam. Naraku attempted to absorb her, but was temporarily defeated by Inuyasha, and Miyatsu's grandson, Moroku, absorbed Kaguya with wind tunnel, destroying her once and for all. Kana originally had barely any sense of self, doing as Naraku ordered of her. She knew Naraku could kill her and Kagura at any time he wished. It's in Naraku's hands, both life and death. As she harbored no ill will towards her creator, she was trusted above all her siblings, being allowed to give Kagura and Kahaku orders from him. Despite Naraku believing she wouldn't develop a will or emotions of her own, Kana eventually did and began to question her own existence. Her bond with Kagura was the only reason Kana betrayed Naraku. Letting Kagam know the light in the Shiken jewel could kill him was Kana's way of avenging Kagura. She appeared to have an ear for poetry, reciting some of the poems in Inuyasha the movie, The Castle Beyond the Looking Glass. In Inuyasha, the final act, Kana recites the same poem twice in Naraku's heart and another one in Flowers Drenched in Sadness. Each poem reflected something from each episode, such as Kagura's desire for freedom and questioning her own existence. Lori blasted Kagura with a powerful blast of wind and shredded her apart, and Lana faced Kaguya and talked some sense into her because Lana felt that Naraku was using her as a pawn in his diabolical ambitions, and she got her to change her ways. Brittany also reasoned with Kana and got her to change her ways. Next we helped Sango's brother Kahaku and brought him back to Sango. Kahaku lived with his sister Sango and their father, in a village of demon slayers. Eventually, his father decides that he is old enough to become a demon slayer himself, and while he is reluctant, Sango helps to alleviate his fears. They arrive at the castle they are assigned to, but unknown to them, Naraku has taken the form of the castle's lord, possessing Kahaku and forcing him to kill his own father. He dies just before he can strike a blow at Sango. After Sango joins Inuyasha's group, Naraku resurrects Kahaku, removing his traumatic memories and brainwashing him to be an emotionless killer. He is granted the power of a Shiken Jewel shard, which enables him to become more proficient with his weapon. At first, Naraku uses Kahaku to coerce Sango into surrendering the Tessagak, and during their confrontation, Kahaku is present, He briefly regains his memories, only to have them removed again. He encounters his sister multiple times, and each time he claims that her face seems familiar even though he cannot remember it. Later, when Kagura abducts Rin to lure Sesshomaru to Neriku's castle, Kahaku is tasked with standing guard over Rin. When Neriku orders him to kill the girl, he lures her out into an open field away from Sesshomaru to do the deed. When Inuyasha's group and Sesshomaru find them, the latter is intent on killing the demon slayer, but when he confirms Rin's safety he gives up. During the Band of Seven arc, he served as a messenger and liaison between Neriku's incarnations and the band of mercenaries. He also guides Sango through MT Hakure using a luminescent cloak. After Hakudashi's birth, he and Kana are charged with caring for the infant. They travel to a castle where one of the women has a stillborn and entrust the infant in her care, after Kana tells her that her child is alive and wipes her memories. Meanwhile, Kahaku becomes good friends with the inhabitants of the castle, but when Princess Abi attacks, Neriku orders the demon slayer to kill everyone within. He is eventually forced into it, and the last woman left alive notices that he is doing it against his will before she herself is slain. Having spent a great deal of time with the people at the castle, Kahaku finally regains his memories. He throws himself off of Kagura's feather in an attempt to commit suicide, but Kagura swoops underneath him before he hits the ground. His suicide attempt unsuccessful, Kahaku resolves to redeem himself by fighting Neriku, while at the same time feigning loyalty to him, meaning he still had to follow all his orders unquestionably. When he and Hakudoji were tasked with luring Kikyo out with a swarm of demonic rats, Kahaku is ordered to leave the doors to Zushinshomi's shrine open, putting his plan to the test. Sango encounters him, and because of the gravity of Neriku's deeds, decides to kill Kahaku. She is stopped, and the shrine is destroyed, ensuring that Kahaku could continue his ruse. After Neriku acquires the Fuyoha key and gives it to the infant, Kahaku is tasked with slaying strong demons. Meanwhile, Hakudoji formulates his own plan to betray Neriku, and enlists Kagura's help, requiring shards in order for his plan to work. She attempts to kill Kahaku, but eventually betrays Hakudoji and protects him, ordering him to flee while she deals with the infant and his CO conspirators. Hakudashi's demon golem, Muryomaru, tracks the demon slayer down, but Inuyasha's group intervenes. Kahaku finally reveals to Sango that his memories have returned, and he openly betrays Neriku and begins traveling with Kikyo after Kagura's death. After Kikyo's death, Kahaku joins Sesshomaru in his pursuit of Neriku, forming a close bond with Rin. Eventually, his shard is removed by Neriku, killing him, but Kikyo's light resurrects him. He does not openly combat Neriku during the final battle, but protects Rin by giving her his mask. 3 years later, he is seen traveling with Kirara and training to become a demon slayer. ******. Next we resurrected Kikyo the High Priestess. ******. During their youth, Kiki and her younger sister Kaed, whose parents died when they were younger, traveled through villages as a part of their training to become priestesses, and killed many demons as a part of it. While on their journey, they met Tsubaki, who would later become a dark priestess. Kiki's great spiritual power and purity became well known, and thus the Shuken no Tama was entrusted to her, much to Tsubaki's dismay. It became Kiki's duty to spend her life guarding the jewel, protecting it from the wicked humans and demons who sought it for their own selfish means. However, her duty as the jewel's protector also meant that she could not show any signs of weakness, lest demons or evil men should take advantage of her. As a priestess, Kiki spent her life fending off demons who attempted to steal the Shuken jewel, as well as protecting the village from disease and famine. However, the one demon whom she refused to kill was Inuyasha because she sensed that he was only a hani, half-demon, and has lived an abnormal life of solitude, much like herself. She also tended to Inigamo, a paralyzed bandit with burn scars all over his body. Later on, Kiki confronted Inuyasha and told him about how she had to hide her real self in order to protect the jewel, and Inuyasha sympathized with her. Eventually, Inuyasha and Kiki fell in love. Sometime during this period, Tsubaki attempted to attack Kiki, assuming that she was weaker after falling in love. However, Kiki reflected the curse back at Tsubaki, and then ordered her to leave. During her time with Inuyasha, Kiki and Inuyasha had once sailed to an island that only appeared every 50 years, anime only. Kiki suggested using the Shiken Jewel to turn Inuyasha into a human, an offer to which Inuyasha agreed. If this plan had in fact worked, it might have been possible for Kiki to carry on the life of an ordinary woman alongside Inuyasha, and for him to finally feel like he belonged somewhere as a human. She promised to deliver the Shiken Jewel to Inuyasha on a certain day. However, the thief Inigamo, who desired both Kiki and a corrupted jewel, decided to use that day to gain control of both. He offered his body to a horde of demons, and thus, the demon shapeshifter Naraku was born. Naraku disguised himself as Inuyasha and struck down Kiki, and then attacked Inuyasha while disguised as Kiki. He set the both of them against each other. Thinking that Inuyasha had betrayed her, Kiki summoned the last ounce of her strength and spiritual power to stop Inuyasha, who attacked the village for the Shiken Jewel. However, unable to kill the man she loved with her sacred arrow, Kiki instead shot a sealing arrow at Inuyasha to pin him to the Gashinboku, the sacred tree or the Tree of Ages, where Inuyasha remained in slumber for 50 years. She then ordered her younger sister Kaed to burn her body along with the Shiken Jewels so that its immeasurable power would never be used for evil again. Because Kiki was full of bitter hatred for Inuyasha at the time of her death, the Shiken Jewel became corrupted. However, because of the Shiken Jewel's manipulations, her soul reincarnated into Kagome Higurashi, thus ensuring that the jewel's never-ending cycle of battle between Naohai, the spirit of good, and Magatsuai, the spirit of evil, continued inside it. Kikyo. Thank you all for giving me life again. Me. You're welcome, Kikyo. I'm sorry you had to fight Inuyasha. Kikyo. It's all right. But I was doing what I thought was right. Kikyo agreed to help us. Lin faced Kyakotsu. Kaikotsu first appears in chapter 234 of the manga and 102 of the anime. Following the unusual disturbances that had forced most of the Eastern Wolf tribe, in the anime, to flee their territory/hounded an old wolf that tried to escape some attacking Ikai, Keiga decides to investigate the wolf's claims of a giant specter devouring every Ikai it came across, reeking of bones and graveyard dirt. Later, two wandering monks discuss rumors of an Oni being seen nearby, with the older monk reassuring his companion that his power would be enough to take it down. Sure enough, they encounter the grotesque sight of Kaikotsu in the middle of eating a yokai, scaring them out of their wits and making them run away. Kaikotsu lingers long enough to meet up with Kahaku, who informs him that the others who have jewel shards are coming soon. He tells Kahaku that he's lucky to have his brothers along with him for the job and dismisses him, but changes his mind as he tries to take Kahaku's shard for himself. Kahaku slices his arm off with his Kyuzarigama and warns him to behave, the presence of Seimyoshi indicating that they're being watched. After Kahaku leaves, Kaikotsu reattaches his arms and comments to himself that his life is precious, considering he just left the grave. Keiga and his wolves are approaching a copse of trees on the lee side of the mountain just as an enormous hand bursts through the rock, revealing Kaikotsu, who learns about Keiga's shards and arrogantly announces that he'll be taking them along with his life. Keiga identifies Kaikotsu as the specter due to his scent. Kaikotsu, surprised that he still has a distinct smell, simply replies that since he was resurrected not long ago, he needs to bulk up by eating everything he can and says that Keiga will make a good snack for him. Keiga easily repels his first attack, but Kaikotsu recovers fast enough to deduce that his two Shiken shards are in his legs. Keiga demands to know what Kaikotsu is exactly since he doesn't have the odor of a human nor that of a Ikai or any incarnation of Naraku. Kaikotsu replies that he's human, to which Keiga expresses his incredulity at a normal human just crawling out of his grave. Kaikotsu points to a jewel shard lodged in his forehead, explaining how he was revived. Keiga demands to know where he got the shard, but Kaikotsu claims it's pointless since he's about to get eaten. Keiga has no problem dodging Kaikotsu's attacks but is surprised by the few tricks Kaikotsu has. After snapping his neck and seemingly killing him, he's caught off guard as Kaikotsu's hand sweeps him up from under the rocks and brings him closer to his face in order to consume him. Keiga recovers quickly and manages to thrust his arm out into Kaikotsu's forehead, with Kaikotsu mockingly claiming that it doesn't even hurt. Before he gets another chance to gloat, Keiga rips out part of his forehead along with his jewel shard and Kaikotsu soon decomposes into a giant pile of bones that pin Keiga down. He sees a solitary Samish insect carry off Kaikotsu's shard and realizes the one behind Kaikotsu's resurrection is Naraku. ****. Lin blasted him with lava and killed him. Lucy Loud then faced Magatsuai, the dark half of the Shiken Jewel. ****. When the Shiken Jewel was created from the souls of Midoriko and the demon she was fighting, this resulted in the creation of Magatsuai, the evil spirit of the jewel. It was he who sealed Kagam's spiritual power. Naraku summoned Magatsuai from inside the jewel, giving him a body made from his flesh. Both were united in wanting the jewel to be corrupted. He first attacks Sesshomaru, who wielded Tenseiga, the only weapon that could kill him, as he is a spirit. He easily corrupted Kahaku's jewel shard. Sesshomaru bit his head off in dog form, but he continued to control the various parts of his body, as any damage to it didn't affect his spirit form. He also further sealed Kagam's power, preventing her from purifying Kahaku's jewel shard. During the fight, Sesshomaru was able to put aside his obsession with Tetsusaiga, gaining his own sword, Bakusaiga, which he used to completely destroy Magatsuai's body. Magatsuai escaped in his true spirit form. While Byakuya tricked Sesshomaru with an illusion of Magatsuai, the real Magatsuai possessed Kahaku. Moroku sucked Magatsuai in with Wind Tunnel, without doing the same to Kahaku, but Magatsuai survived, in a first for the series, due to receiving infinite power from Kahaku's corrupted jewel shard. Moroku was severely poisoned from sucking in his miasma. Still in Kahaku's body, Magatsuai injured Sango and made his way to Naraku to give him his jewel shard. During the battle, Kahaku resisted Magatsuai's possession, and Kikyo's light moved from the Shiken Jewel to Kahaku's shard, driving Magatsuai out. Sesshomaru slashed him with Tenseiga, supposedly killing him, though his voice could be heard swearing revenge. Magatsuai survived due to part of him being inside Moroku. He left Moroku to possess Rin, and went to Naraku, who absorbed the completed Shiken Jewel to transform into a giant spider, with Rin inside him. At some time Magatsuai left Rin but continued to stay with her. When Rin met up with Inuyasha, who had been turned into his demon form by the corrupted Shiken Jewel, Magatsuai possessed Inuyasha and fought Sesshomaru. Through his love for Kagam, Inuyasha resisted his possession. Magatsuai started to possess Kagam, but Inuyasha's dragon-scaled Tetsusaiga kept Magatsuai frozen in place, unable to possess anyone, and Sesshomaru slashed him with Tenseiga, destroying him for good. His death broke the seal over Kagam, and allowed the light to return to the Shiken Jewel. *****. Lucy Loud slashed him and killed him and sent him into the River of Fire. Lucy Loud, Naraku will pay for his crimes. Next we faced Meinomaru. *****. Meinomaru is the main antagonist of the first Inuyasha movie, Inuyasha, Affections Touching Across Time. He is the son of an extremely powerful moth daiokai named Lord Hyoga, who was defeated by Inuyasha's father 200 years before the main storyline. Menmaru and Hyoga's power were both sealed to the ancient Tree of Ages. When the Shiken no Tama was shattered, one of the shards revived Menmaru and he embarked on a quest to obtain his father's power. After discovering that one of the great dog demon's swords, the Tenseiga, did not possess the destructive aura required to remove the seal on Hyga, Menmaru and his servants planned to steal the other sword, the Tesseiga, which did have the power. Upon discovering that the Fang had a barrier which prevented demons from using it, Menmaru lured Tesseiga's owner, the half-demon Inuyasha, to his hideout under the Tree of Ages. In an effort to save Kagome Higurashi, Inuyasha was tricked into destroying his father's fang, breaking the seal on Hyga's power. Thus, Menmaru was able to absorb his father's power to become the new Lord Hyga. Menmaru then began absorbing souls to complete his transformation. Despite his success, Menmaru was unable to destroy Inuyasha and Themiko Kagome before he emerged from his chrysalis, and squared off against them for a final confrontation. Luna blasted him with a powerful blast of water and killed him. Luna, you evil demon dudes will pay. Next we faced Muryomer the rock golem demon. When the infant began plotting to betray Neruko, he needed a protective armor of sorts, prompting he and Haku Doji to construct one. They stole Haku from demons, the part of the soul that enables movement, to give it sentience, and used their flesh to create the armor. Neruko was seemingly unaware of the plot at the time, and knew that his enemies had discovered that the infant was his heart, so he stole the Fryoha key in order to conceal his heart's demonic aura. The infant was then placed inside the newly constructed golem. Much like Neruko, he was able to absorb others and gain their strength, and the first he did this to was Goryomaru, a demon-slaying monk. Haku Doji told Kagura to release Goryomaru, whom she had presumed dead, and successfully guessed that Haku Doji planned to betray Neruko. She discovered the infant's plot and betrayed them, and Haku Doji was killed in the ensuing battle. He goes off on his own to collect Kahaku's shard and discovers that he had recovered from his amnesia. After Hakudashi's demise, Muryomaru sought to increase his power by absorbing demons. His first targets were Koga and Sesshomaru. Although he failed at absorbing both, he is responsible for breaking the latter's sword, Tokaijin. His first successful absorption was that of a turtle yokai named Myoju, gaining its armor. He allows Inuyasha to strike him with his adamant barrage, absorbing the crystals into one of his arms. Having achieved his final form, Muryomaru eventually makes his move to destroy Neruko by devouring him, but the latter counters by devouring the construct instead, thus killing both the infant and his protective suit. Terra fired a powerful blast of earth energy and obliterated him in an instant. Next we faced Mokutsu, the bad marriage minister. Mokutsu made his debut in the 237th chapter of the manga and the 103rd episode of the anime, sending a cloud of poisonous fog onto the battlefield. Inuyasha and Jakotsu were fighting on to allow the latter a quick escape. Jakotsu later meets up with him a deep part of a forest, where he's testing the potency of the poisons that he's brewing. Both discuss Inuyasha's group and express desire for a certain member of the group for their own, Inuyasha and Kagome respectively. Jakotsu promises to keep Inuyasha busy in order for Mokutsu to be able to steal the jewel shards Kagome carries and states she's all his to enjoy. When Kagome and Shippo briefly separate from the group to fetch water from a village well, they notice too late that the villagers are dead due to poisonous gases that have encroached upon them. Both collapse, unconscious, and Mokutsu seizes the chance to abduct Kagome. He is briefly confronted by Sango and Moroku, who demand to know who resurrected him and trying to stop him from taking Kagome. Confessing his ignorance of the subject, he easily evades them, having distracted Sango into protecting Moroku from a spray of noxious vapors. It's shown that Mokutsu has taken her to a hut hidden in the woods, where no one will disturb them together, as he's surrounded the hut with a barrier of deadly gas. He comments on her beauty and his luck at having her all to himself. In the manga he attempts to rape her, having taken advantage of his poisoned gas paralyzing her and leaving her too weak to defend herself. In the anime this is changed to him expressing his desire to have her as a wife and reenacting a bizarre sort of marriage ceremony where he drapes a white cloth over her and moves her paralyzed body as if she were a marionette, forcing her to sing and dance along with him. Sango and Moroku try to rescue her but are blasted with a stream of poisonous gas and fall under its effects as well. In both scenarios Kagome is able to momentarily regain control of her body and manages to stab him in the throat with hearth tongs, trying to get the jewel shards lodged in there. Rather than damaging him, he becomes enraged at her supposed treachery and resolves to kill her instead. As Miyokotsu strangles Kagam, Sesshomaru bursts in and harms Miyokotsu severely. He demands to know where Naraku is and is irritated by Miyokotsu's ignorance. The frightened Miyokotsu attempts to poison him but is shocked to see that Sesshomaru is impervious to his highly toxic brews. He expresses his disbelief in that he'd be so resilient to his specially made poisons, pompously proclaiming himself a master poisoner, only to have Sesshomaru brush his claims off as weakness and promptly cuts him in half with his T-Kaijin. Jakotsu witnesses his death and rushes off to tell the Band of Seven of this development and the unexpected interloper. Lenny used her gravity powers and crushed him into a pulpy pancake, killing him. Lenny, you are totes a bad marriage counselor. Next we faced Rengatsu. Rengatsu is the strategist of the Band of Seven. He is skilled in smithing and pyrokinetics, as shown in how he uses various oil ignition flames and creation of Ginkotsu's body. While seemingly loyal to Bangatsu, he secretly wants to kill him in order to gain power. He was voiced by Tomokazu Sujita in the Japanese dubbed version, and Brian Drummond in the English dubbed version. He first appears to Inuyasha group as a monk, having killed the original head of the temple he had killed in order to disguise his identity. However, the ruse is eventually found out and is thwarted by Inuyasha. He later rebuilds Gingatsu as a transport device for the Band of Seven, and engage in several failed attempts on Inuyasha and Koga's life. Eventually, he decides to take the jewels for himself and murders a defeated Jakotsu to obtain his shard, only to be easily killed by Bangatsu. Linka fired a powerful blast of lightning and electrocuted him and blasted him into nothing. Linka, good riddance. Next we faced Ryura. Ryura and the other three war gods, Jura, Pura, and Gora, attacked Horai Island out of contempt for half-demons, as many half-demon children lived there, but the priestess Conad sacrificed herself to hide their spheres of power inside the cauldron of resonance, rendering Ryura and the other war gods powerless. The war gods would sacrifice half-demons to restore a portion of their power, scratching them in the back to give them the mark of the four war gods, preventing them from escaping the island. Ryura gave Inuyasha the mark this way just outside the island, while Gora drained blood from Kikyo. Also, whenever the island would appear, Ryura and the others would attack villages and slaughter anyone they could find, although without their power they could not leave the island for long without fading away. In the present day, an unmarked half-demon, A.I., escaped the island, and Ryura sent Gora to bring her back, but Gora was killed by Inuyasha. When Inuyasha and the gang arrived at Horai Island, Ryura fought Inuyasha and defeated him with his wind and thunder blades, but walked away from the fight, disappointed that Inuyasha wasn't a worthy opponent. After Inuyasha was pulled into the cauldron and escaped after being given the spheres of power by the spirit of Conad, Ryura released a clone of Kikyo created from her blood. As the war gods could not open the box containing the spheres of power, Ryura had the Kikyo clone open it, and the war gods obtained the spheres of power to restore their power, including Gora, who was revived. Though no longer needing to sacrifice the half-demon children, Ryura attacked them anyway as they tried to escape, but Inuyasha fought him, and, using the backlash wave against his two swords, destroyed him. However, his sphere of power survived, and revived him, along with the other three war gods, merging them all together into one war god, to which Ryura was dominant, with his face in the center, Pura, and Jura's faces to the side, and Gora part of his body. Inuyasha fought the war gods, who seemed unstoppable, with Ryura taunting Inuyasha that he was still a disappointment to him. Powered up by the Firefly spirits of those who were sacrificed, Inuyasha and Kagam combined an adamant backlash wave and a sacred arrow, respectively, to destroy Ryura forever, along with the other three war gods and their spheres of power. Kagam fired a powerful energy blast and an arrow and blew the demon apart. Nice shot, Kagam. Kagam, thanks JD. Next we helped the Princess Sarah Asano. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. She was the daughter of a noble general, whose castle was besieged. But Sesshomaru was by chance near, and killing the enemy soldiers because they were in his way. At this point, he himself was injured. Inuyasha had just cut off an arm. But Sarah was impressed by Sesshomaru and fell in love with him. She played on her flute when she was near Sesshomaru, and her father Finali found out, that was in love with a yokai. He took up his soldiers to kill Sesshomaru, but humans have no chance to defeating a yokai, so he had to flee. Shortly afterwards he became mad and burned his castle. A while later Sarah was very sick, but she wanted to be at Sesshomaru. Some lower yokai heard her desire, and offered her a new body in exchange of her soul. Sarah consented, and in a similar way became an Hanyu, as before her Naraku. But when she visits Sesshomaru, he shows that he has no interest in her. Then she decides to steal Inuyasha's sword Tessugah. She prepared a plan, and transformed Moroku, Sango, Kieryu and several villagers into glass statues. By luring Inuyasha and Kagam into a trap, she can steal him the sword Tessugah, and goes back to Sesshomaru. But Sesshomaru recognizes that Sarah has long been controlled by the lower yokais with whom she has allied herself, and destroys them with the sword Tessugah. Shortly afterwards he puts her flute on the pile of ash, and goes off again. Powers and abilities. High intellect. She has designed a clever plan to steal Tessugah. No one except Shippo has been looking through. Immunity. She is immune to the barrier of Tessugah, which attacks malicious yokai. Probably for the reason that she is a Hanyu, and not a yokai. Glossystone transformation. She can turn humans and yokais into a glass stone. Energy blasts. She attacked Inuyasha with 2 black-violet energy blasts. Demon puppets. Like Naraku, Sarah was able to create demon puppets that resemble her, or look like a huge monster. However, their dolls seem to consist of seaweed. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. Sarah, thank you all so much for freeing me from my curse. I'm sorry for all the terror I caused. Me, it's not your fault, Sarah. We have to kill Naraku and make him pay for his crimes. Naruto, that's right. Sarah agreed to come with us. Next we faced Setsuna no Take Maru. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. After learning she was to bear a Hanyo child, he took it upon himself to kill her. However, Inuyasha's father arrived and revived her. He cut off Tekamaru's arm and later dueled to the death with the latter in the collapsing castle. Years later, Soundga revived him as a demonic being, reminding him of his hatred towards H.A.Y for taking Inuyasha's father, a demon, to bear her child. Using the cursed sword, he raised an undead army to do battle with Inuyasha and Sesshomaru. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. Lucy slashed him and sent him into hell. Lucy Loud, you are a dishonorable samurai. Next we faced the sentient sword Soundga. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. Soundga is the sentient sword from hell, whose soul was the ancient spirit of a demon. Soundga would usually possess whoever wielded him and make him kill people, with his ultimate goal being to destroy the world. He cannot be destroyed, except by the combined power of Tetsusaiga and Tenseiga, the 2 swords forged from the Great Dog Demon's fangs. He came into possession of the Great Dog Demon, who was able to wield him without being possessed. Following the Great Dog Demon's death, the spirit Saya used his power to seal Soundga in a sheath and sent him through the well to the future, where he was found and kept at the shrine Kagam lived at. Eventually, Soundga broke free of Saya's power, and Inuyasha picked him up, becoming possessed once he had crossed back to the past. Soundga made Inuyasha use Dragon Twister, which drained Soundga's power, releasing Inuyasha from the possession, though Soundga remained tied to his arm through cords he projected, and Inuyasha used him to kill some ogres, who were reanimated as zombies by Soundga's power. Later, Sesshomaru fought Inuyasha for Soundga, who possessed Inuyasha again, trying to force him to kill Rin for blood. But Kagam used the beads of subjugation to break Inuyasha free of Soundga. Soundga then possessed an ogre and revived Take Maru of Setsuna as a specter, fusing Sesshomaru's severed left arm to Tekamaru's to give him a demonic appearance and enable him to wield Soundga's full power. Takemaru did whatever Soundga said in order to exact his vengeance on Inuyasha and Sesshomaru, sons of the great dog demon. Takemaru massacred people using Soundga, whose power reanimated them as zombies. Soundga told Takemaru to destroy Tetsusaiga and Tenseiga, as their presence weakened his power. After a fight, Inuyasha killed Takemaru. Soundga continued to possess Sesshomaru's arm and manifested into a demonic form to fight Inuyasha and Sesshomaru, while opening a gate to hell intending to suck everyone on Earth into hell. Inuyasha and Sesshomaru refused to fight alongside each other most of the time, but eventually when Soundga shot an energy attack at Inuyasha, and Inuyasha used Backlash Wave, Sesshomaru used Tenseiga to combine a dragon strike with Inuyasha's Backlash Wave, destroying Soundga's demon form and killing him. The now lifeless Soundga fell into the pit leading to hell, along with Sesshomaru's arm, before it closed, sealing it forever. Lisa blasted the sword with a plasma ray and obliterated it completely. Lisa, a slashing weapon such as you has no right to live with the world of weapons. Next we faced the undead samurai Sokotsu. He starts showing his first signs of multiple personality disorder about a decade before the events of the story, when his village is destroyed by soldiers and its inhabitants are slaughtered out of cold blood. He avenges his village by killing the soldier, and due to the fact that he had never done such a thing in the past, his personality splits into two. Soon after, he joins the Band of Seven. Following his resurrection, he finds work as a doctor in a village near Mt. Hakure. The holy aura permeating the surrounding area keeps his evil side in check, and he becomes popular with the children of the village. He fears the sight of blood, which seems to awaken his evil side even when close to Mt. Hakure. Death. In both the anime and manga, Sokotsu died after a battle with Kiki and Sesshomaru, the latter of which decided to fight him after he kidnapped and threatened to kill Rin. After suffering a fatal attack from Kikyo's arrow strike and regaining his good persona, he asks Kiki to remove his jewel shard from his neck so that he can return to Bones. Kikyo asked that Sokotsu wishes to choose death. Sukotsu says he now remembers everything he had done, and to prevent his evil persona ever taking over his consciousness he begs Kikyo to kill him. Sadly, however, Jakotsu violently removes the shard instead and Sokotsu returned to his skeletal state. The good but unfortunate doctor finally found his peace in death. Lincoln fired a powerful blast of lightning and obliterated him. Lincoln, you are a worthless samurai wannabe. Next we faced Taigo Kumaru. Taigo Kumaru was the leader of a clan of bat demons and father to Tsukuyomaru, who fell in love with a human woman, Shizu, with whom he would later have a half-demon daughter named Shiori. The love he felt for Shizu estranged him from his father, as well as his choice to abandon the hereditary duty of guarding the barrier. This estrangement led Taigo Kumaru to kill his own son, but he did not kill Shizu when he realized she was pregnant with his grandchild, since he needed Shiori to be the next guardian of the barrier. Taigo Kumaru made a deal with the nearby village that if they gave his granddaughter to him, he would let the village be. After Shiori was born, the villagers ostracized her and eventually gave her to the demon, but Taigo Kumaru reneged on his part of the bargain and attacked the village. Inuyasha then intervened, but could not harm Taigo Kumaru due to the barrier, but when Taigo Kumaru revealed in front of Shiori that he killed her father, she turned on her abusive grandfather and enabled Inuyasha to kill him with the backlash wave. Even so, his spirit emerged from the orb and attempted to drag Shiori into hell with him, but his attempt was foiled when the spirit of his son intervened and defeated him permanently. Lori, you are literally no king. Lori fired a powerful blast of wind and shredded Taigo Kumaru into nothing. Next Lainey helped the infant. The infant was born within Mt. Hakure during the Band of Seven arc, and was immediately placed in Kagura's care after Naraku broke free from the mountain. They traveled to a castle and lured Inuyasha's group there. The infant revealed that since Kikyo's apparent death, Kagam was the only one who could sense the jewel shards, and he intended to use her as his eyes. He read her mind and tried to find her weakness, only to find that her soul was apparently pure, until he found that Kagam thought Inuyasha loved Kikyo more, and was more concerned with finding her. It worked for a time, but Kagam became defiant, claiming she didn't harbor a grudge towards Kikyo. Inuyasha eventually came to her rescue. Search for the border to the afterlife. Neruko then learned that the final jewel shard was located at the border to the afterlife. Some time after, reports of monks being slain by a woman with a baby began spreading. Inuyasha's group went to find Mushin, who they thought was in danger of dying. It turns out Kagura and the infant, the two responsible, were not interested in him, as he was apparently not powerful enough. The infant had been reading the minds of monks in order to find the border to the afterlife. Eventually, they came across a monk named Shinzen, who was powerful enough to split the infant in half, presumably killing him. He remained alive, however, and his other half matured to create Hakudoshi. After this point, the infant became less prominent, but it was revealed that the infant was Neruko's heart, meaning that slaying him would slay Neruko as well. Eventually, Neruko learned that his enemies knew about his heart, and acquired the Fuyoha key, a stone that concealed demonic auras, making his heart undetectable. However, the infant also took advantage of this fact, and began plotting to overthrow Neruko, with the aid of Hakudoshi and his demon construct Muryomaru. He was hidden inside Muryomaru, and after attempting to recruit Kagura to his cause, she told Inuyasha and his group about this. Following Hakudashi's death, Muryomaru and the infant traveled for a time, absorbing various demons to become more powerful than Neruko. The pair made a mistake when they tried to absorb Neruko himself, who turned it around for himself and absorbed them instead. Powers and abilities. Mind reading/corruption, had the ability to read people's minds, finding their weaknesses and corrupting them. Demonic aura concealment, after acquiring the Fuyoha key. ******. Laney used an exorcism and cured him and turned into a normal human with his powers. Laney, you are safe now, little one. Next we helped Tsubaki. *****. Tsubaki was a powerful priestess who rivaled even Kikyo in power, and was well respected before her turn towards darkness. One day, Tsubaki cursed Kikyo, saying that she must abandon human feelings to retain her power, and that if she falls in love with a man she would die a horrible death. Kikyo knew she was cursed, but wasn't concerned, and scoffed at the idea of love. Tsubaki wished for the sacred jewel to retain her youth for fear of fading beauty, which is why the jewel was entrusted to Kikyo. Soon after, Kikyo began to fall for Inuyasha, and Tsubaki desired the jewel for her wish to be granted, so she arranged to curse and kill her rival using her familiar, a Shikigami. Unfortunately for her, Kikyo fired the curse back upon its caster, giving her a scar on her right eye, making Tsubaki vow revenge on her rival. As it turned out, the Dark Priestess was correct, and Kikyo died a violent death at the hands of, inadvertently, Neruko. Even 50 years later, Tsubaki's hatred for her held, and Neruko used this to his advantage. He asked for her services in turning Kagam on Inuyasha and kill him vicariously through her. Kagura was also surprised when the Dark Priestess revealed that despite her biological age, she could regress to her former youth. Tsubaki succeeded in cursing Kagam through tainted shards of the Shikin Jewel, and maintained control over her body, although not over her mind, leaving her with enough strength to tell Inuyasha to flee. He refuses, however, and Kikyo later confronts the Dark Priestess. Tsubaki notices that she literally has not aged in the 50 years since her passing, and Kikyo acknowledges Kagam's power, saying that if she did manage to kill Inuyasha she would avenge him. Kagam snaps out of her trance and she and her group track Tsubaki down, engaging in a battle with her. Kagam ends the battle by firing the priestess Shikigami back at her, thus breaking the curse that was placed upon her. Tsubaki disappears in the manga after this instance. The anime shows what happened to Tsubaki after she fled the battle. She began to hate Neruko when she realized that she was just another one of his tools, and took the Shiken Jewel for herself, fleeing to the shrine where she once trained. She tricks two of the initiates standing guard, Momiji and Boden, into assisting her with eliminating Inuyasha and Kagome. Meanwhile, while Momiji and Boden deal with Inuyasha's group, the priestess planned to awaken a sealed demon and obtain its power via her cursed eye. As Inuyasha desperately tries to convince the initiates that Tsubaki is the evil one, Kagura stops by to retrieve the jewel, but the priestess refuses to part with it. She succeeds in absorbing the sealed demon's powers, and turns into a massive half-demon. Inuyasha deals a fatal blow with his backlash wave. The sacred jewel is returned to Neruko as Tsubaki ages and fades away, regretting underestimating Inuyasha and Kagome's power. Curses. Whatever preternatural curses at her disposal enables Tsubaki to take full control over a person's body and possibly kill them from afar. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. We helped her become a kinder person and she put aside her rivalry with Kikyo. Tsubaki, thank you JD for saving me from myself. Next we faced Yura of the Demon Hair. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. Yura manipulated the townspeople of Kaed's village via her hair so that Inuyasha would succumb and she would obtain his Shiken Jewel shards. During their fight, while she had Inuyasha cornered, Kagome was wearing his fire rat robe and was thus protected from Yura's razor-sharp hair. After Kagome found Yura's true form, the comb hidden away in a red skull, she grabbed one of her arrows and smashed it into the skull, breaking the comb and causing Yura to wither away to dust. While Yura was relatively short-lived, she nevertheless had the distinct honor of being the first strong opponent that Inuyasha and Kagome faced together. Powers and abilities. Yura has the ability to fly and hover in midair. She is extremely agile and flexible. Her balance is also incredible, as shown when she stood and sometimes jumped onto single strands of hair. Yura's trademark is her razor-sharp hair strands, which are apparently capable of cutting through anything except Inuyasha's robe of the fire rat. The hair is made up of the hair of her victims, as she stated that once she killed Inuyasha, all his hair would be a pleasure to control. Kagome noticed that there seemed to be strands of Yura's hair that glow, signifying that a certain strand, or strands, is controlling a large group of the hair. These glowing strands can be traced back to Yura's location. Yura has perfectly mastered the hair she has collected over the years, which may increase as she kills more people and adds them to her cluster of hair. Yura uses these hairs for various purposes, among them, she is able to control people and practically make them into her puppets by making them lose consciousness and using her hair as the strings. Catching her opponents, preventing them from moving freely and getting to hang them if necessary. Following her enemies, she sticks a hair to her enemy and just follows it where they go, to give her an idea of the location of the target. Protective hair protects Yura when she encounters strong attacks like Inuyasha's blades of blood. Controlling objects from a distance, the most explicit example is when she uses her opponent's sword controlled by the hair. Shown in the anime, she can also use these hairs to heal her amputated limbs, as shown when Inuyasha cut off her sword hand and soon after it was reattached to her arm when she called it back with the hair. It can also be used to heal from seemingly any injury, shown when Inuyasha sliced Yura in half. Weapons. Benigashomi, Crimson Haze. During close-range combat, Yura uses a Wakaizashi named Benigashomi, which she claims is a treasure among the Oni. It has the ability to cut flesh and bone without cutting her specialized hair. Oni by Gushi, Ogre Fire Hair. Using her red comb, she makes a sweeping motion, unleashing a torrent of flames which can be channeled down her hair for a better attack. Yura used this attack on Kagome, claiming that it would incinerate her body, and that not even her bones would be left. This would have happened had Kagome not been wearing Inuyasha's robe. Kushi no Ori, Comb of Hair. Yura directs a large mass of hair upward, forming a massive cage made of her hair, in which she can attack her enemies in without them being able to escape. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. Carol faced her and got her to change her ways and got her on the side of good. Yura, thank you Carol. Working with Neruko is a dangerous deal, Me. Now we have to find Sesshomaru and get him to help us. Then look no further. We turned and we saw Sesshomaru. Me. Sesshomaru. Inuyasha, big brother. Me. Thank you for finding us, Sesshomaru. We have to find Neruko and put an end to him once and for all. Sesshomaru, as much as I don't want to work with humans, I'll do it. It's time that Neruko pays for his crimes. Me. Let's do it. I held out my hand and we shook hands. We went after Neruko. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. We were now at the site of H.A.Y Castle. We were ready. Me. This is it, guys. Neruko's energy signal is in that castle. And it's incredibly powerful. Naruto, we have to be ready for him. Me. We're ready for anything, bro. Jaden, which is more effective against Neruko? Super Samurai mode or Shark Attack mode? Me. We'll find out later. We went into the castle and sitting in a meditative stance was Neruko himself. Neruko, so you all have come. The mighty team Loud Phoenix Storm. Me. That's right, and we meet at last, Neruko. Neruko, yes we do. Why did you all come here? Me. What else? To kill you and make you pay for your crimes. Neruko, do you really think you have the power to kill a demon? Me. We killed demons before. They were peons compared to you. You and your selfish hatred has destroyed so many lives. Nico, you tricked many people over the years and ruined many people. Lincoln, you will pay for your crimes, you monster. Neruko, we shall see. A light flashed onto Neruko's right and caught his attention. Jaden, Red Ranger, ready. Another light turned on to his left. Kevin, Blue Ranger, ready. Behind him, another light turned on. Mia, Pink Ranger, ready. Another light flashed on beside it. Mike, Green Ranger, ready. A flash came from his left, and there stood the 5th Ranger in the role. Emily, Yellow Ranger, ready. A 6th light turned on and revealed the 6th Ranger, holding the light sword. Antonio, Gold Ranger, ready. Jaden, Rangers together. The 6 Rangers walking forward, all in a circle, closing in on Neruko. Samurai Rangers, Samurai forever. Me, let's power up and destroy this monster. We powered up to our full power. We unleashed the full extent of our power and we were powered up to maximum power. Neruko was now in his 3rd form. It was ugly. Neruko became a gigantic spider with 8 large horizontal fangs and an armored abdomen. His core form within the spider, however, was his true body with tentacles that connected him to the spider form. During the final battle, Neruko turned into his normal form, but with several diamonds forming the armor and a gigantic armored spider web that replaced the connecting tentacles. Neruko then took on an Oni-like appearance and his hair turned white, and he also gained a rib cage on his body, but this form was just a head. After Inuyasha destroyed forever his body, Neruko's soul was reduced to a head with a spine, and after Kagome shot him with her arrow, his face returned to normal. His dead form within the Shiken Jewel was his head and a giant spider web, though it had a more normal appearance. Me, you are one ugly motherfucker. Nico, you will pay for your crimes, Neruko. Me, let's get him. We went at Neruko and we clashed in a massive fiery explosion that caused the whole castle to explode in a massive explosion of fire. Crab. The explosion destroyed the entire castle in a fiery mess. I punched Neruko in the face and fired a powerful energy blast at him and it hit him and exploded with incredible power. Crab. Nico punched Neruko in the face and kicked him in the stomach. Pow. Kick. We flew into the air and Neruko was fighting all of us with incredible ferocity. He was a really powerful and formidable opponent. I punched him in the face and Neruko fired a powerful blast of miasma at me and I fired a blast of force fire and the blasts collided and exploded with tremendous power. Crab. The blast was as powerful as 8,000 Hiroshima bombs and it blew Neroku back, and Lori fired a powerful blast of wind and blew him around in a powerful tornado. Lenny threw a powerful rock at him with her gravity powers, and Lana fired a massive blast of ice and froze his arm. Jaden then turned into shark attack mode. Inuyasha sees Jaden's shark attack mode. "You're in so much trouble now, Neruko." Jaden's shark sword was powerful and it moved at him all over the place with incredible speed and power and slashed him all over the place. Sesshomaru slashed Neruko with his sword and Neruko screamed in a lot of pain. Sesshomaru to Neruko, "Sorry, Neruko. But in war, you join the winning side." Me, now let's see how you face a powerful swordsman. I unsheathed my sword and Neruko unsheathed his sword. Neruko, let's. We then clashed our swords and it erupted into a massive sword fight. We clashed all over the place as sparks were flying all over and setting everything on fire. The flames of hell burned ferociously as they consumed everything in a holocaustic firestorm and burned everything in their path. We were clashing all over the place and it was a massive fight. I kicked him in the face and fired a powerful blast of force lightning and electrocuted Neruko, and Lincoln slashed Neruko in his face and fired a blast of lightning and electrocuted him and exploded. Crab. Naruto, go to hell Neruko. Echoing, wind style, Super Rasen Shuriken. Naruto formed a massive wind style, Rasen Shuriken, and it had 8 points and he threw it and it slammed into Neruko and exploded with incredible power. Crab. The explosion destroyed Neruko's sword. Kagam sees Neruko's broken sword. "Oops. Did we break your sword? Sasuke, let's see how you deal with this." Echoing, Inferno style, flame control sword. Sasuke formed a sword out of the black flames of Amaterasu and slashed Neruko and he bursted into flames and was in pain. Sakura, echoing, earth style, Raisin gun. Sakura formed a brown Raisin of earth style chakra and fired it from a finger gun, and it fired and went faster than an energy blast, and a bullet fired from a gun and it hit Neruko and exploded with unbelievable power. Crab. The explosion was so powerful that it blew a huge chunk of his body apart. Laney fired a powerful blast of energy and it hit Neruko and exploded. Crab. We were proving to be an incredibly powerful force for Neruko. Me, let's show him some teamwork. Mulan, right. Merida, Scottish accent, right lass. Mulan and Merida unsheathed their swords. Mulan and Merida, China-Scotland/strike. They slashed Neruko and the flags of China and Scotland appeared in the background and Neruko belched up a huge amount of blood. Me, you're starting to become mortal Neruko. How does this feel? Not well, I hope. Kimberly, let's get him. Delphine. Delphine, alien voice, I'm right behind you Kimberly. Kimberly fired a powerful pink arrow and Delphine fired a blast from her weapon. Kimberly Heart and Delphine, Pterodactyl Aquitar Death Strike. The blasts merged with the arrow and it hit Neruko and exploded. Crab. Jason, let's do it. Oreo, alien voice, right. Oreo fired a powerful blast of red energy and Jason had his Tyrannosaurus power sword ready. Oreo and Jason Lee Scott, Tyrannosaurus sword slash. Oreo's blasts merged with Jason's sword and he slashed Neruko and it exploded. Crab. Sestro, alien voice, time for action Billy. Billy Cranston, right behind you Sestro. Sestro fired a powerful blue blast and Billy had his Triceratops spear ready. Sestro and Billy Cranston, Triceratops mace exploder. The blue blasts merged with the spear and Billy slashed Neruko and exploded. Crab. Ninjor, Ninjor is ready for some action. Tommy Oliver, right with you Ninjor. Tommy fired a blast of green energy from his dagger and Ninjor had his fists ready for action. Ninjor and Tommy Oliver, Green Ranger Dragon Fist Barrage. The green blasts merged with Ninjor's fists and he hit Neriko and pulverized him all over the place with incredible ferocity. Trini Quan, let's make him kindle. Tidius, alien voice, you got it Trini. Trini had her power daggers ready and Tidius fired a yellow blaster. Trini Quan and Tidius, saber-tooth tiger dagger slash. The yellow blasts merged with her daggers and Trini slashed Neriko all over the place with powerful yellow blades of energy. Corcus, alien voice, let's get them Zack. Zack Taylor, right Corcus. Corcus fired a powerful blast of black energy and Zack had his axe ready. Corcus and Zack Taylor, Mastodon Tomahawk slash. The blasts merged with Zack's axe and he slashed Neriko with incredible power. We fired numerous blasts of energy at Neriko and they hit him and exploded. Crab Me, let's show him some teamwork. Skydive, you got it boss. Cyber Key Power. The Earth Cyber Planet Key went into his back and enhanced his Negagun 100-fold. Spider-Man, let's do it. Earth Cyber Key Power. The Earth Cyber Planet Key went into Spider-Man's left arm device and enhanced his web powers 100-fold. Skydive and Spyday, Super Spider Negablast. Spider-Man fired a powerful web blast and Skydive fired a powerful Negagun blast and the blasts combined and they hit Neriko and exploded. Crab Teresa, time for some serious pain. Earth Cyber Key Power. The Earth Cyber Planet Key went into Teresa's right arm device and enhanced her sonic powers 100-fold. Armada Cyclonus, let's do it. Cyber Key Power. The Decepticon Cyber Planet Key went into his back and it enhanced his firepower and strength 100-fold. Teresa and Armada Cyclonus, Sonic Firestorm Burst. Cyclonus fired a massive blast of energy and Teresa fired a massive blast of sonic energy. The blasts combined and they hit Neriko and exploded. Crab Me, now you will pay for everything you've done Neriko. Let's finish him. Brittany, this is for all the pain and suffering you've caused to many innocent people. Black Magic Crystal Burst. Brittany fired a massive cloud of black crystals and fired a powerful barrage of black lasers and they hit Neriko and they exploded. Crab Boom. 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 Neriko was bleeding and he saw this and he was shocked. Neriko, I'm bleeding. Brittany, I stripped you of your immortality and made you vulnerable. Lucy Loud, now you will pay for your crimes. Nazagamoon damned / blood drain. Lucy slashed Neriko and his body was starting to drain of his blood. Kagam, this is for all the pain and suffering. Enchanted Priestess Arrow Burst. Kagam fired a powerful arrow and it hit Neriko and exploded. Crab Inuyasha, this is for everyone you tricked and lied to. Inuyasha jumped into the air. Inuyasha, Windscar / Storm. Inuyasha slashed Neriko and he exploded. Crab Me, now to finish you for good Neriko. I held my hands in the air. Goku Spirit Bomb theme plays. Nico, the Spirit Bomb. Time to use our most powerful attacks on Neriko. Lincoln, let's do it. Nico's bracelet glowed red and fired 7 beams of red energy and they shot into the sky and formed a huge ball of red energy. They condensed into a more powerful smaller ball the size of Nico. Yuzuk, time to end this once and for all. Yuzuk Urameshi charged up a powerful spirit gun blast. Nicole charged up a powerful Big Bang Kamehameha wave. Goku charged up a massive red Kamehameha wave. Vegeta charged up a massive final shine attack. Yuzuk, this is for all of the pain you caused. Spirit gun. Yuzuk fired a massive spirit gun blast. Gaku, Kaaaaa. Me. Hey. Me. Gaku fired a massive red Kamehameha blast. Vegeta, final shine attack. Vegeta fired a massive green energy blast. Nicole, X100 Big Bang Kamehameha. Nicole fired a massive blue Kamehameha wave. Nico, negative karma ball. Nico fired a powerful red energy ball. Me, spirit bomb. I threw a powerful spirit bomb as big as a huge mountain. Our blasts merged together and turned into a massive and powerful energy ball, and they hit Naraku, and the portal into the river of fire opened up and it carried Naraku into it, and he went into the river of fire and the portal closed and the blast exploded with unbelievable power. Crab. Lana, is it over? Me, yes. Naraku's energy signal has completely disappeared. Naraku is now dead and gone forever. We cheered wildly. Sango, it's over. We have avenged all of those killed by Naraku. Nico, Naraku, you have failed this entire universe. Naruto, go to hell Naraku and stay there forever. Me, you said it bro. Inuyasha, to the viewers, we are now free thanks to Team Loud Phoenix Storm. Me, we couldn't have done this without you Inuyasha. All of you. We later went back home and we had Inuyasha and we had a bunch of new recruited for the Redemption Squad, and we had also formed a new branch of Team Loud Phoenix Storm called the Demon Slayer Consolidate. It was a great day for all of us. We put the Shuken Jewel in the vault. The end. Asterisk. Another fanfiction complete and another evil monster destroyed for good. Inuyasha was an awesome and amazing anime series, and it was awesome. Nico-chan 11 and Dark A gave me the ideas for this one. Dark A gave me the idea for the chapter. Credit goes to both of you. Let me know what you all think. See you all next time.